morning, once again, football fans. This is episode 6 of 8 of 3 and Out. 8 divisions in 8 days. My gosh, where has time gone? Then again, last week was a crazy week. So many teams. I lost my freaking voice. It was a lot of fun last week. But here we go. On to day number 6. My gosh. I was going to say day number 2. Day number 2 of NFC week, that is. Day number 6 of 8 divisions in 8 days. And today, we are going to dive right on in to the NFC East. Huge, gigantic thank you and shout out to Mr. Matthew Owens. Great show, buddy. Great show, man. Great show. With the sports brunch, just logging off right before we hit the air right now. Second show today on iSports Radio of plenty. My gosh, we got so many coming up today. All kinds of good stuff coming your way, including, of course, 3 and Out right now. They're coming our way a little bit later on. We have the Kansas City Shuffle. We got gloves off, and it's gonna be a party. Oh yeah. With that said, y'all, we're getting ready to talk the NFC East. How in the world are we even going to get through this without mentioning that Washington doesn't have a name? It sucks to think they have a name by now. But we are talking a Washington football team. We are talking, of course, the Dallas Cowboys coming up in just a few minutes, actually. We have here, coming on up, some Giants football, and we're talking Philadelphia Eagles football. And yes, Taryn in the chat room says set point. I did not know. He had the seasons coming and going, and I had no idea. I got confused. So apparently we have set point going on, so awesome. Anyway, y'all, yes. My bad, Taryn. Didn't know, man. Didn't know about the season ending or starting or... Yeah, you mentioned that, and I just kind of stuck with that, so my bad, dude. Today, we're getting in to the NFC East. The once most competitive division, powerhouse division of the NFL. Is it still? We'll find out today. You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 division, 8 days, NFC East, right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What's going on, y'all? So, once again, mentioned, yes, Taryn, volleyball season is here. Well, like I said, my bad, dude. Taryn messages me one day and tells me that there's no season. Well, then season's ending and the whole bit. So, my bad, I should have get stuck with that. But my bad, Taryn. So, yeah, we had Taryn in the chat room already getting down, man. And thank you for joining us. And there we have it. So, also joined for Set Point today. Lots of great things going down. Like I said, we have a freaking crap load of shows going on today on iSports Radio. And, well, Mr. Matthew Owens led us off today, and we got plenty more coming on up. So, as we have mentioned yesterday, man, great show starting us off on NFC West, or for the NFC West. That was a lot of fun talking to everybody yesterday, and today we're just going to StreamYard right on in. Yeah, you heard that, right? StreamYard, that's right. I'm excited, y'all, because StreamYard is actually going to be a big part of 3 and Out starting tomorrow, y'all. Hopefully getting those votes in on the iSports Radio Twitter account. Put up yesterday's game for the voting poll, and well, everybody thinks the Chargers are gonna sorry. My bad, Terrence in the chat room, so I thought the Chargers. Everyone thinks the Chiefs are just gonna smack the Texans according to our voting poll. So that's crazy. But continue to get your votes in, y'all. We'll have the second voting poll up for Sunday Night Football coming up today, and then tomorrow we will have the Monday Night Football voting polls going on up, and, well, we will go from there. Tomorrow will be a lot of fun. We are going to have all kinds of new stuff, of course. Tomorrow will be the first time on StreamYard. I will have all of my guests on StreamYard. That's right, y'all. The Primetime Face-Offs will be on StreamYard. Yes! That's going to be fun. Seriously, this is going to be a really neat thing to have those actual debates live on StreamYard, and it'll be a lot of fun. So we're actually going to start recording wins and losses for primetime face-offs. I know I said that last year, and I just didn't stick with it. Last year was a crazy year, but I barely had time for anything. I just started my master's, and oh man, I was a mess. I was so overwhelmed. Like I was like, whoa. Like I was coaching, I was working, I was starting my master's. So there was so much, and this show was like straggling. Like I barely had enough time to even do the show. Like I had like during coaching, I had to make sure I had this day off. Well, I had Wednesday off, and it was just crazy. It was a lot, y'all. But this year, of course, doing the dang thing. No masters, graduated, so I'm good. So yeah, we got a little more time to do a lot more things. You like that? A little bit of time to do a lot more things. That's just pretty much how it goes. But we always have a whole bunch of fun here, y'all, and well, the party is just beginning. 3 and Out is going to be legit. So tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Be ready, y'all. 3 and Out is coming your way. And it's going to be unlike you've ever heard it and seen it. Maybe a little bit like you've heard it. Actually, a lot like you've heard it. Okay, same great show, but it's just going to be literally live on, on StreamYard. So you can catch that, of course, on our Facebook account. And you can also catch that as well on our YouTube account at IE Sports Radio. And then for those of you, I like to put it on my stream too. For those of you who follow me on Facebook, I'll have that on my page as well for you to enjoy. So with that said, y'all, that will do it. A little brief introduction, and we will jump right on into our first team in just a few moments, y'all. We are talking NFC East today. And the first team up on the docket, we're talking Cowboys. When we return, y'all, we got Dallas Cowboys coming right up with a newcomer. Oh yeah, gotta love some newcomers every year, y'all. So, with that said, to make up for not knowing if Set Point was going to be on today or not, because volleyball season is in fact here, so my apologies once again, Taryn. We'll go ahead and start off with his drop, y'all. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, NFC Eastern, right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed, all that is sports.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunderous Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Dave the Fried Man here to tell you about the newest IE Sports radio show, the Kansas City Shuffle. We'll be talking football, reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, baseball, your 2015 World Series Royals, college hoops, college football, and much to Ryan's delight, hockey.
Oh, wow.
Make sure you catch up with us on Twitter at KC Shuffle Show. You can also catch up with my colleague Ryan the Pezquire at the Pezquire Fool
on Twitter.
Make sure you check us out on IE Sports Radio at 6 p.m. Central Time to 7:30.
Oh, yeah.
And Ryan, any final words for the listeners?
Yeah, come on in, enjoy the winning we've been having here in Kansas City lately, and don't be jealous. Bye-bye.
IE Sports Radio,
your direct feed for all things sports. Nope, that's not it. Cut that.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you have it, y'all. Plenty of great shows you can hear on IE Sports Radio, and plenty coming up today, as I mentioned, y'all. So, with that said, we have our first guest here on the line. Glad to have him here. He is another newcomer. I'm glad we have had a lot of those coming up this 8 divisions in 8 days to start off the NFL season. And here to talk about his Cowboys all the way over from Oklahoma, as a matter of fact. Pretty cool. Coming on right on over from Cowboy Alley, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here. His first time, hopefully first of many, Cowboys fan, once again by way of Oklahoma. Mr. Brennan, how's it going today, man?
What's up, man? Going great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, brother. Glad to have you today, man. I'm glad everything's going great. Let's get it going, man. So, things first. You are a diehard Cowboys fan, like I said, right there in Cowboys country. And, man, this is a team that really has a lot of firepower and has a lot of promise coming into this year. But before we get into any of that, man, let's go ahead and jump on in, since you're a newcomer, to how you became such a diehard Cowboys fan.
Well, I always kind of say it's my family curse, man. I was just raised this way. I was born in '92, actually, so that's when the Cowboys were hot and popular. And I don't know if my mom became a fan there. She always was, but as long as I remember growing up, Cowboy shirts, Cowboy games, Cowboy everything. So I didn't really have a choice in the matter.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I feel you. I was born a Raider, and I have suffered many years. So,
yeah, you get it. You get it.
So I get you, man. I know how it feels, brother. So you are good, man. That's awesome to hear, and that's awesome, brother. So with that said, man, a little bit of last season. This team played well, not well enough, but they played well, and they didn't look too bad. There were parts where they looked like they could be this breakout championship team, and there were parts where they just looked like they should just go home. Regardless, you guys didn't win the division, but it wasn't a bad year. I mean, of course, I'm winning the Super Bowl, for a lot of people it was a bad year. But regardless, what do you think, man? Walk us through every raw emotion from last year as a Cowboys fan.
2019 was a punch in the gut, man. Coming out of 2018 and getting a playoff win, there was a lot of hype, a lot of expectations, and we started the year really hot, 3-0, which I know it wasn't against like great competition, but Dallas likes to lose those easy games sometimes. So we were winning the games we were supposed to win. Dak was on fire. So I mean, as the season got going, I'm like, okay, here we go. Because as a Cowboys fan, it always feels like start and stop. One year's really good, you think you're building momentum, and then the next year it's like a downslide. So I thought, okay, we are building the momentum. And then every week it was like a bipolar team. I never know what to expect. There were so many games that we could have won, like one-score games. I mean, instead of 8-8, we could have been the 12-14. And that's why I think gut punch is the best way to describe it, really.
I agree. You guys, man, the year before, you guys were nasty, man. You guys were dynamite. You guys were blowing crap up. It was a very good year it looked 2 years ago. And, I mean, there was that streak. I mean, didn't you guys go, like, on a freaking undefeated streak for, like you went 10-0 for the first time in, like forever, right? Or something like that. Wasn't it around there?
I don't think we started 10-0. The 2018 season started rough. That's when we had gotten rid of Dez, and we hadn't got Amari Cooper yet. Mm-hmm. And I think we started like maybe 3-4 or something, and then we made that trade, and then we were really cooking, and we like beat the Saints, and they were like 10-1 or something. We beat them on Thursday night, and besides that like embarrassing blowout to the Colts, I mean the whole second half of that season was strong, and then we beat the Seahawks, who were the only home team to win Wild Card Weekend. I mean, it was one of those not how you start, how you finish seasons, and we definitely finished strong.
Absolutely. You guys, man. Yeah, I forgot there was a streak you guys started out, man. There was one of those seasons where you guys started out hot. You guys started out really, really, really well. I was like, man, the Cowboys...
Yeah, Dak and Zeke's rookie season in 2016. That's when we started like 11-1 or something.
There we go. I'm sorry. But yeah, man, just looking at that prior success just in the last couple of years, and then looking at last year, it's like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, man.
That's kind of what I was saying. It felt like it should have been a continuation of the momentum, but it just kind of fell apart.
It did, and it's crappy, but man, hey, it is what it is. There's always next season, and well, here we are. It's next season. So,
oh yeah.
So,
no matter how many times it falls apart, once the new season starts, I'm hyped. I'm ready. I'm confident.
There you go, man. Nothing wrong with that. But it's all right, man. Let's go ahead and get on into the off season. So, first things first, you guys. All right, let's get on over here because the Cowboys. This is a really cool website, man. I am telling you, this website, I've been using it the entire 8 divisions in 8 days. We're in day number 6 right now, covering the NFC East, and man, this is such a cool website called overthecap.com. I'm getting my sources here. It tells you all the free agency transactions and everything. So let's go ahead and get on over here. I'm not going to say them all, but I'll go through a good amount of them, and then you can go ahead and elaborate on whichever ones you'd like to. But we have, of course, Andy Dalton coming on over from the Bengals to the Cowboys. We know he's probably not going to start, but he's going to be there. We have Everson Griffin, which is, in my opinion, probably one of my all-time favorite moves because I just want to see one-on-ones in practice. I know NFL doesn't really go full pads in practice, or even go like that hard in practice. But my gosh, if they ever do a full padded practice or like 100% hardcore contact, I just want to see the one-on-ones between Tyron Smith and Everson Griffin. Like seriously, that is going to be like, oh my gosh. Because I mean, as a defensive lineman myself, like as an end, as a matter of fact, like those guys, man. Oh my gosh, to see them two go at it like in practice, like that was just be so cool. So glad you guys were able to pick him up. Dontari Poe, another big monster coming over from the Panthers. Previous Chief, as a matter of fact, a couple years back, he was drafted to the Chiefs. But yeah, the big boy's coming over to Dallas. That is awesome, man. I want to see him versus like Quentin Nelson, man. Like, oh my gosh, you guys have like probably the best offensive line in football. Now you guys got a pretty damn good defensive line. Amari Cooper will resign. We have Robert Quinn, however, departing, going to the Bears. We do have Randall Cobb going to the Texans. We have Jason Witten going to my Raiders. Cameron Irving will head on from the Chiefs to the Cowboys, so some more beef on that offensive line. However, you will lose a little bit too. Cameron Fleming will head on over to the Giants. We'll stay in the NFC East, but go to a rival team. We have Darryl Worley, one of our corners from the Raiders, heading on over to the Cowboys. Greg Zuerlein heading over to the Cowboys. Byron Jones, a big departure in my opinion, will head on over to the Dolphins. Jeff Heath will also head to the Raiders. We have Joe Thomas staying a Cowboy. Tavon Austin going to the 49ers. We have just so many players, man. So once again, I'm not going to sit here and go over all of them. However, let's take a look, man, and tell us and all the listeners out there who you think the biggest departures were, the biggest additions, and who do you think can make the biggest impact for you guys from free agency this year?
Well, I mean, starting with the losses, obviously Byron Jones hurt. I think a lot of Cowboys fans saw it coming just with the amount of people we had to pay. It just felt like he would end up being the odd man out and he wasn't there. And, you know, that's kind of how it happened. I feel like that one didn't affect me as much because I think I like seeing it coming. Robert Quinn hurts because he was so productive for us last year, just like sneaky productive. We got him for like a late round pick from Miami, and then he comes in like 12. He was a monster. And then Randall Cobb, that really hurt. Of course, you know, then the draft happens, and I'm feeling all right about it. But when we lost Randall Cobb, I thought that was really going to hurt our offense. Randall Cobb, even as our 3 last year, he had like 800 yards and then maybe 6 touchdowns. I mean, that was just a lot of offensive production we lost. But when it came to the additions, before Everson Griffin, the one I was most hyped about, honestly, was Andy Dalton. Because as a Cowboys fan who lived through many years of Romo getting hurt, I mean, I know what it's like just to watch the season fall apart without a backup. And even though Dak's been durable, the whole time he's been our starter, his backup was Cooper Rush. He's never thrown a pass, didn't know what we had, and every time Dak took a hit, I was just scared, thinking Cooper Rush is about to be my quarterback. So now we got Andy Dalton, and if worst case scenario happens, I trust that Andy Dalton can come in and maybe, you know, steer the ship and at least keep us from totally collapsing. Mm-hmm. And then we get Everson Griffin out of nowhere. I really didn't think it was going to happen. And that, you know, replaces the production we lost from Robert Quinn, hopefully, you know.
Right.
Don Terry Poe in at deep tackle. I'm still excited about Antoine Woods. We had Gerald McCoy, and as a Sooners fan and a Cowboys fan, I mean, that was obviously pumped for that. I hate what happened to him. Hopefully we can get him back on the team next year once he's healed up. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely excited because I feel like in the past Cowboys have been all drafts, no free agency, maybe a little bit here and there. But I think Mike McCarthy, he's all about player acquisition. We want to get best players available if we can. Honestly, in recent memory, this is probably the best free agency class that we've had.
I think so, man. You guys had a very good year for agency, and Terrence is here in the chat room. I have the Cowboys winning the NFC East this year. I feel the Cowboys are the deeper team against the Eagles, and yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I'll get my final weigh in a little bit, but this is going to be a very good division, really, really, really fun division to watch. Again, so let's take a look here at the draft. So first things first, man. You guys, I'll tell you, this is courtesy of DallasCowboys.com, but man, you guys had an interesting draft. I mean, the first pick was awesome. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, man, you can't go wrong. The guy is fast. He's got hands. He's just a damn good athlete, man. The guy is overall just a freak of nature athlete, and certainly somebody that you would feel would come in and make an immediate impact. I seriously do feel like he will make an immediate impact. I can't wait to hear what you got to say about him right now. But yeah, man, this young man is good. He's got great hands. He's been proven in college, of course, that.
I'm sorry, what was the last part of that? The last part of the question?
Oh, no. I was just going on about CeeDee Lamb, saying that he was just, a hell of an athlete. And, of course, he's coming right out of your neck of the woods, man. I don't know if you're a Sooner or not.
Oh, boy.
But, man, I don't know if you're a Sooner or a Cowboy. I don't know.
I'm a Sooner.
Okay, you're a Sooner. Well, then.
That gave me flashbacks. When I was watching Zeke at Ohio State, we had DeMarco Murray, who just had the best year of his career. But I'm watching Zeke, and I'm like, it would never happen, but I would love to have that guy on our team, and then it happened. Obviously, I'm a Sooner fan. I even got to go to a game last year, finally, for the first time, and see CeeDee Lamb in person. I was like, we got Amari Cooper, we got Michael Gallup. It would never happen, but, man, if we could have him on our team. And just to watch him slide down the draft and fall into our hands. I mean, I've never been as excited for a draft pick in my life. And the receivers are talking about having 3 1,000-yard receivers. Maybe it doesn't happen this year. CD is a rookie. He's got to figure it out. but I think we are right there on the verge of having maybe the most prolific pass offense in the league.
Look, man, you guys, of course, CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup is somebody who we saw him 2 years ago in the Senior Bowl, and the guy is a freaking monster. He is just a great athlete, and he has proven to be one of your guys' best. So it's like true, man. I know. And then, who else you guys got there? Oh, of course, Amari Cooper, from the Raiders. I mean, it's true. I mean, yeah, the Raider fan, right, would know that. But yeah, man, you guys definitely have such a good player. And Darren says, guys, get to class. Hey, man, thanks for tuning in, brother. Catch you in a bit. But yeah, man, I'll tell you, this is a great draft. And you guys did really, really well. Second round, Trevon Diggs out of Alabama, corner. I mean, that's addressing, of course, Byron Jones, the loss of him. Good player, at least I would think. But defensive lineman, Neville Gallimore out of Oklahoma, another Sooner going to you guys. So, I mean, you were just happy, man. You guys got 2 Sooners. Then out of Tulsa. Get out of here, man.
Tell me about it.
Right? It's like freaking, they knew this year that, they knew you or something. I mean, seriously, man. They get Reggie Robinson the second out of Tulsa in the 4th round. Then also in the 4th round, they get another center. By the way, he's a corner. They get another center, Tyler, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to, but out of Wisconsin, big freaking, another, some more beef for the offensive line. You pick up, Brandley Ane, which I thought he was going to go a lot higher out of Utah. Really talented defensive end. I'm a Pac-12 guy, so I know a thing or two about him. And then you guys pick up quarterback, Ben DiNucci out of James Madison, actually. So JMU, FCS school right there in the 7th round. So regardless, man, we talked a little bit about CeeDee Lamb, but other than him, who do you think can come in and make an immediate impact, man? And who do you think can really, you don't have to be a first rounder to be a legend. So what do you think, man? Who do you think can make a big impact for you guys?
The first 3 picks really excite me. Going into the draft, my whole focus was getting more defensive back or help in the defensive backfield. I mean, I sat here one day and ranked all the cornerbacks and safeties I wanted just so I could, get myself more excited. I thought Trevon Diggs was such like a possibility for us at 17, maybe. I mean, it probably would have been a reach, but I just thought, man, he plays at Alabama. He's used to like high levels of competition. If we could get him, that'd be cool. The fact that we got him in the 2nd was just another one of those I can't believe it moments. Like Trevon, we didn't have to trade up. We didn't have to do anything else to just sit there and let him fall. And then same thing with Neville Gallimore. Like, just being a Sooners fan, I know about him. I'm excited for him. And I think the one silver lining of losing Gerald McCoy is I think it's going to give Neville Gallimore more of a shot to get some real playing time this year. Mm-hmm. And that can only help with his development as far as I'm concerned. I don't know much about Reggie out of Tulsa. TU isn't a big football program up here when you got OU and OSU running around, but a lot of people talk highly of them, and like I said, I wanted help in the defensive backfield, so getting 2 corners in our first 4 picks I think is awesome.
I think so too, man. You guys had a pretty good draft. I mean, there's no BS here, man. You guys had a pretty good draft. I'm really excited.
That's the one thing we do. I mean, the Cowboys, we get mocked a lot for a lot of things, but damn, we can draft. I believe that.
Something, what's even funnier is... This is kind of sad, but what's funny is I won't say this about the Cowboys because the Cowboys at least win games, but man, the Browns have like the best draft every year, and well, So I guess I'm not too high on the best off seasons anymore. After the last 3 years on this show, man, I gave the Browns like the best off season grade, and well, we saw what happened. So I'm not too high on that anymore. But no, I'm just kidding, man. But no, you guys seriously are a very good. Are a good football team, man. And this is like, I know, a couple little bumps and bruises here and there. But, all right, man, so let's go ahead and get up on into this season. We're moving fast. This is a really good interview, man. So let's jump on into this season. We talked about last year. We talked about the offseason with all the pickups and everything from free agency and from the draft. So let's go ahead and get on this year, man. What do you think personally? What do you guys think you guys are going to do? How do you feel about this year? I love to call it the blinders. You have the blinders on if you think your team is going to do something absolutely incredible that maybe isn't too realistic. But then again, they could also it could run parallel with that. It could be that your team is really that good. And honestly, I think the Cowboys really do have a very good chance of winning the division and of going further, much further, if they whip it into shape. So what do you think, man? Go ahead and tell us a little bit what you think the Cowboys are going to do this year.
I think they're going to be better, obviously, because the goal is to be better than 8-8, 9-7. I actually just had this conversation with a buddy of mine who's a Broncos fan last week, and we were going down our team schedules and comparing them. And if I'm trying to be as honest as I can, I think 10-6 is a pretty fair record for the Cowboys. I think it's attainable. I think you can also be 10-6 and still be a very good team. We have a really tough schedule. We got to play, the Niners. We got to play the Ravens. There's going to be some hard games in there. But I think 10-6 would be enough to win us the division. I try not to be too biased against Philly. It's my least favorite team, my least favorite fan base. I could argue with you all day and night about the Dak versus Carson Wentz debate, but it seems like they're already kind of getting really injured. Like a lot of injuries on their offensive line. Carson Wentz, is made out of glass. You never know. I feel pretty confident this year we can at least get the division. And once you're in the playoffs, man, it's a new season. Anything can happen.
I agree, and you guys are a very good football team, man. So I think this year might be the year. You guys are a great team, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and jump on in to a little bit. Okay, now we're at the end of the segment, man. So let's go ahead and do this real quick, man. As always, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brennan, man, that was awesome, dude. Thank you so much for being on today's show. However, we're not done. We got one more segment to go, man, and this one's always a lot of fun. This one is look, there are 3 teams that you just don't like in this division. That's all there is to it, okay? And so let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. This is a little segment I like to call at the end of 8 divisions in 8 days. That's called Stick It To 'Em. And you get to have a little bit of fun. Now that you talked about how the Cowboys are going to do, you think the Cowboys are going to do this year, you can talk about the other 3 teams in this division and talk about how you think they're going to do this year. Therefore, you can be nice, be mean, however you want to be. The floor is yours. Without further ado, Brennan, stick it to 'em.
Ooh, I can't start till I ask what the language restrictions are here. I might get going and drop the bomb.
Well, screw it. Have fun, man.
Okay, look, I already brought up Philly, so let's just start with Philly. I think it's a dumpster town. I think the fans are garbage people. They won a Super Bowl and they were eating horse shit off the side of the road and they burned down the city. I don't get it. I hate them. That's no other way to put it. I hate that Carson Wentz is even compared to Dak Prescott. I think if you take that 13-game stretch that he had in 2017 out, his career is a joke. Not even in Dak Prescott's league. And I don't even want to give Eagles any more of my thoughts. So I'm done talking about the trash bird. For Giants, I like to crap on them a lot because I actually have a lot of Giants fans. But I think out of everybody in our division, besides the Cowboys, I think of the other 3, I think they've actually improved the most. Joe Judge as the coach is, I'll be honest, I didn't know who Joe Judge was before he got hired. A lot of guys, when they come out of New England, I think they try to be Belichick and they try to make it the New England way. And I don't think that really works. I think that's why a lot of these guys flame out. But if he doesn't try to force New York to become New England, I think they got a shot. If Saquon stays healthy, if Danny Dimes keeps progressing, they have a shot to at least get out of the bottom of the division. Because I think they finished 4th, maybe every year for the last couple of years, or at least 3rd, but they haven't even been able to get out of the top 5 draft picks the last couple of years. But Jason Garrett is a new offensive coordinator, and that's kind of hilarious to me. I think a lot of Giants fans think that having him is going to help them get an edge on us. But Jason Garrett doesn't know what we're doing in Dallas with Mike McCarthy. We know what Jason Garrett is going to do. We have a good idea of probably how he's going to run things in New York. So it'll be interesting. I'm definitely more excited for Giants games than I have been recently. And Washington, man, I almost feel like saying anything negative about them would be like beating a dead horse. They've had such a rough offseason with the name change and the scandals, but they got Ron Rivera, and I think if they let him take control, I think they can get better. But that team could be competing for number 1 overall pick this year. They have so much to do. I'm rooting for Alex Smith, honestly, after everything he went through, but I think they're one of the worst run franchises in the league. I think Snyder's his name. Everyone in his organization wants him to sell the team. they're kind of dumpster fire adjacent to Philly as far as I'm concerned.
Man, well, I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Brennan just stuck it to him, man. That was awesome. And I'll tell you right now, I agree that letting Ron Rivera do his thing over there would definitely be big. I really do. I'm a big fan of his. And also Alex Smith, too, man. I'm a fan of his, too, because the guy's had a rough career, but you know what? He's stuck in it. And that guy is like he's like the true meaning of freaking, like, never giving up. You know what I mean? Like, that guy is so damn, like, he is so resilient. He really is the definition of resilience. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to some great football this year in the NFC East. But, man, that was pretty awesome, dude. That was a lot of fun. And, of course, now we got to the end. But I want to go ahead and get started out there, man. This is your time. Have some fun. Throw out your Twitter handle. And please let all the listeners out there, the Cowboy fans out there, Cowboy Nation, everybody know where they can find you, any publications you may do, anything else you may do, man, related to sports, any place you want these fans to find you, man. Please let everybody know.
All right. I mean, I don't really do anything else except get on Twitter and talk about the Cowboys, talk about the NFL. You guys want to follow me there? I got to talk about #Cowboys Nation. I'm at Qui-Gon Bren. That's QUIGONBREN. And outside of that, take it easy on the Cowboys fans, you know, man. We've played for 25 years. We know it's been tough. Let us be a little hopeful. I get condemned every year for being excited about my Cowboys and excited about the season, but I'd rather be hopeful than being depressed, you know? So good Cowboys fans to break down.
Hey, man, I'm totally with you, man. Why not? Why be sad and depressed when you can be hopeful and happy, man? So I'm all about that, brother. Hey, dude, thanks again, Brendan, for joining us, man. Last minute, I just found Brendan on Twitter like an hour ago, man. So I'm glad that you were able to join us up, man, and doing your thing, man. Thank you so very much once again. And, dude, I look forward to having you back on the show very soon.
Hey, man, anytime. Have a good show.
Hey, man, thanks again, man. God bless you and the family. Take care. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, see ya.
Take care, man. All right, that was a lot of fun, y'all. Mr. Brennan, great guy, man. So, all right, we got the Cowboys down. We have more teams to go. Next up, we got Mr. Keith Zhang, an interview from him and I on Sunday night. It was great to catch up with him. Great friend of mine, man. Great guy, all the way from the other side of the country in Vermont. The dude is super cool. So enjoy the interview. I'll be back in a little bit, y'all. You were listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC East Day right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome in to the Neutral Zone. I'm your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and you're listening to IE Sports Radio. If you like big, nasty hits, if you like slap chop straight to the neck, if you like it when the gloves hit the ice and the big boys get down, then this is your show. On IE Sports Radio, this is the Neutral Zone. May our shots on goal always be true and straight to the net. If they are not, may they be followed up, redirected, or change collected. Let's go on IE Sports Radio with me, your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and this is the Neutral Zone.
Motorsports takes many forms, and there's one show on IE Sports Radio that's ready to cover it all.
I sure hope you're talking about you and I, Daryl, because I know the Extra Mile is the best place to go for everything motorsports related.
Yes, it is. From NASCAR to IndyCar to sports cars to everything in between, IE Sports Radio has everything covered for the fastest sport in the world.
Plus, don't forget all of our random shenanigans along the way.
That's right, Caitlin. So for plenty of motorsports coverage and plenty of Caitlinisms, check out the Extra Mile on IE Sports Radio with Daryl Kinsey Jr. and Caitlin Seen, Thursdays at 8 p.m.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you have it. Starting things off down in Texas, talking some Dallas Cowboys to start off the show. And now it's time to take a turn northeast to be precise, in the place where it's pretty cold and Big Blue runs wild. You know where I'm at, y'all. Up in East Rutherford, New Jersey, to talk about those New York football giants, the G-Men, if you will. Bring the thunder and ring the bell, because it's time to talk Giants football. And here today, actually this was previously recorded on Sunday night, but glad he can join me, and glad he can be on today's show via recording from the other day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back one of the most die-hard Giants fans you will ever meet. On top of that, a pretty die-hard IE Sports Radio fan, because the man wore a dang IE Sports Radio t-shirt in the snow. I'm just saying, I know he's used to it, and he played hockey, and he was damn good at it because he was a captain and he's used to the cold, but I'm just saying, wearing a t-shirt out in the snow, you know, maybe I'd do it, I don't know. I just don't live in the snow. I'm a Southern Californian, where it's currently like 109 outside of like 60. What's up? Let me go look at this. It's 102, ladies and gentlemen, and it's 6:30 at night. It's 102 outside right now. We're having Arizona weather in Southern California. This isn't fair. Anyway, it is what it is. I don't think we've ever experienced a September this hot. At least the beginning of it. But at the end of the day, it's all good. I mean, it's 2020. But regardless, at least we're not going to lose football this year. And I'm just glad, thank you God, that we are going to have at least the NFL. The college is a little messed up, but whatever. At least we're still getting some college football. But regardless, the NFL is still rocking and rolling. So, here today to talk some New York Giants football. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcoming back die-hard New York Giants fan all the way from Vermont in the freezing cold. It's going to start getting real cold over there pretty soon, the next couple of months. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcoming back the one, the only, and the soon-to-be on the ballot for the IE Sports Radio Hall of Fame this year, because he deserves it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Keith Jang. What's going on, Keith? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, Larry. Thanks for having me on, buddy. I appreciate it.
Hey, brother, you are very welcome, man. I'm glad you can be a part of us here today. Glad you can talk some Giants football with us, man. And it's been too long, man. I'm glad we had a little bit of catching up to do before this, and it was awesome, man. It was great talking to you and just shooting the breeze, as you were saying, man. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's always good just to catch up and just, shoot the fat, shoot the breeze, whatever you want to say.
Absolutely, man. So, hey, at the end of the day, it's pretty awesome. At the end of the day, it's like, we meet, diehards of their teams doing this. But as soon as that time, man, you meet some good friends. I'm glad to call Mr. Keith a good friend, man. It's awesome talking to you, brother. It really is, man.
Hey, right back at you, brother. I consider you a good friend as well.
Hey, well, then,
and, hey. You're saying it's like 102 out there right now?
Yeah, it sucks.
It's 57 out here.
That's great. That is great. We are literally half, what do you call that? We're just really hot. Okay? We're more than half of your heat right now. This sucks. Yep. This really, okay, maybe not more than half, but earlier today it was 109 or something like that. So, yeah.
You can keep it.
Yeah, I know. I wanted Vegas in Arizona to keep this, but for some reason they're letting us borrow it. So, hey, but then again, I think about it, I'm like, wow, if we're this hot, then how hot are they right now? Because, my gosh, yeah, I wouldn't even want to know. It's like an oven out there, I'm sure. But, all right, man, so on to these New York football Giants. Man, oh, man. Keith, let's just start things off with this little, I don't even know what you want to call it, but last year was a season to forget again.
Yep.
Yeah, again.
I think that's a nice way to put it.
Again, yeah, because I'm a Raider fan, as you know, and well, we have seasons that are pretty similar. But unfortunately, last year, man, you guys just weren't up to par. It was just, tough year, man. You and Meg and the chats were always very entertaining because, well, you told the truth, usually, and I would do the same thing with my Raiders, but man, you guys were just, I was like, there was points in this, okay, seriously, man, there were points in that season where it was like, okay, if you're a Giants fan, it's like, you know what? I'm just watching the game because I love the game now.
Yeah, that usually happens in November. You're just watching for the love of the game because the last few seasons at that point they've been out of it. that's made it tough, man. I miss being able to have our team competitive in the later stages of the season, November into December.
That sucks. That really sucks that, like, you guys just haven't been there. And, the Raiders, we got one good season, and that's been wonderful. But at the end of the day, you know what? I can't get too crazy on the Giants because, you know what, man, in the last 2 decades, you guys have 2 Super Bowls, and it's over, in my opinion, the greatest quarterback and the greatest coach ever, individually and as a combo, man, as a combination. And it was the famous 18-0 season. And, at least that's what I call it. And, of course, 2012. I mean, you guys have done something remarkable in that, and it's amazing. I know it's not now. I know it's 8 years ago this year, the last Super Bowl. I get it. But you know what, dude? At the end of the day, you guys have had a lot to cheer about. Well, maybe not a whole bunch, but shoot, man, 2 Super Bowls in the last 2 decades, that's more than a lot of teams can say in the NFL.
Yeah, it's been nice. I won't deny that. It was a good couple runs, but it'd be nice to get back to a little bit more consistency for sure.
Absolutely, man. So, all right, man, let's get into last season, dude. So, go ahead, man. Give us every raw emotion. Last year, when you guys just weren't there, I mean, it was a tough division, man. I mean, when the team who wins it all, of course, with the Eagles, we're talking later on some Eagles football. But seriously, think about this. When the top team in the division is 9-7, that means that everybody else didn't go quietly, or you played 2 really hard divisions other than yours, or it was both. So,
yeah.
Last year, Keith, give it to us, man. Every raw emotion from last year, the floor is yours.
Oh, last year, I mean, every year you start out with a high sense of optimism, like, you know what, yeah, we can maybe start turning the corner this year. But I think it kind of settled in early that this was going to be a long year when nothing just seemed to go right. We kept, especially defensively, shooting ourselves in the foot. We kind of just mistake after mistake after mistake, guys not knowing where to be, where to line up, and all that. There was a lot of small little things that just kept costing the game. And not only that, I mean, we just didn't have the talent on the defensive side of the ball really to kind of keep guys from scoring. And offense, the offensive line was, again, an issue. Then, Saquon getting hurt and playing on a bum ankle most of the year and still managing to rush for over 1,000 yards, by the way, was definitely a hindrance. And trying to bring along a rookie quarterback while still having the legend that is Eli Manning standing there on the sideline. There was just a lot of things last year that, we were just there. And, the elephant in the room with Eli, and unfortunately, the way it ended for him, I guess I shouldn't say unfortunately, because he was able to go out and get a win in his final start. But, it was, it just wasn't the way we were hoping to send Eli out. We were hoping to send him out with a better season, hoping that maybe he could, spend the whole season on the field. Obviously that had to change when, you start out 0-2 and they're not even close. So, but bringing along, Jones showed a lot last year, minus the fumbles, which I'm sure everybody will point to. But, it was a roller coaster. I guess that's where I'm dancing around. It was a roller coaster of emotions. There were some good highs, as were seen during the Twitter chats between Meg and myself on Sundays, or the ultimates of lows, which involved with different emojis of hiding your eyes. So it was a roller coaster of a season, and hopefully this year will be better.
You know what, man? There's no other way to put that, right? I mean, it's the truth, you guys. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So, okay, man, let's take a look here. Let's move out of last season and get into this season, at least the off season, and talk a little bit about the free agency period for you guys. We had some key departures and some key gains, in my opinion, man. You guys, of course, would let go of you guys would gain Logan Ryan. I mean, the guy, I was never really the biggest fan. I mean, he was good, and then there were some times where I was like, he's okay, he's average, but he's proven himself, in my opinion, to be, pretty darn darn good at least. Played for the Titans for Mike Vrabel last year. I forgot how many years he was there. I don't know if it was this winter or not. But regardless, he's going on over to you guys. And you know what? Hey, I mean, you guys definitely need some depth in that secondary. You guys were able to keep Leonard Williams, of course, coming over from the Jets a few years ago. You guys will also, coming with him, bringing a buddy, Logan Ryan, will bring Mr. Dion Lewis, running back. Pretty dang good running back there. You have a kicker coming your way from another team in a different shade of blue. From the Panthers, Graham Gano. Coming on over, Cameron Fleming from the Cowboys is going to stay in the division and play for a rival. Come on over at left tackle, coming to play for the Giants. You guys kept a hold of Marcus Golden. From the Washington football team, you guys will bring over Colt McCoy. I just remember seeing him playing in Texas and seeing him playing then and doing his thing. And Nate Ebner, a longtime Patriot. I think he might have, I don't know if he's been on the team that long, but when you guys beat them in the last Super Bowl in 2012, when you guys played them, I don't know if he was still on that team, but I do know he's part of Team USA for rugby, so I know the guy is a freaking monster. Part of the Flying Eagles, or I don't know if they call them the Eagles, I don't know. But regardless, freak of nature player, great player. Mike Remmers heads on over to the Chiefs from the Giants, and you have Michael Thomas, which heads over to the Texans. So as you can see here, man, it's just a lot of pickups, a lot of transactions, man. Like in both ways, you know what? No, departures and transactions, however you want to call it, or just transactions in general. I really don't know like the term how to call it, but regardless, man, there was a lot of moving pieces. And this year, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing for the Giants, because it's like, well, maybe it's out with the old and with the new, or maybe we're letting go of some people we needed, or maybe we're just letting go of the guys we need to get rid of. I mean, regardless, man, go ahead and walk us through free agency through your eyes and tell us what you thought. I know I didn't name everybody, of course, it's a gigantic list here, courtesy of overthecap.com, but go ahead, man, tell us all the guys who you think were the biggest departures, were the biggest pickups, and do you think any of those pickups could be an immediate impact?
As far as the immediate impact, I think bringing over a guy like Blake Martinez to kind of, hunker down the middle linebacker spot, that's going to be nice to have him in there. James Bradbury, he'll set down on one side of the cornerback position. He'll be one side of the field, and then it's at this point it's probably going to be one of the younger guys, either the Corey Ballentine or Logan Ryan might step in over there every now and then, but I think they might try to move him over at safety, rotate him with Julian Love, with Xavier McKinney being out for a while. But, those guys coming in, that'll be nice to help. But I think having, lost a guy like Michael Thomas, he was a nice piece. He could come in, he could play either safety spot, he could he was a really good special teams guy, good locker room guy too, from what I understand. So losing a guy like him was kind of a bummer. But I think the biggest thing coming in for the Giants this year is a whole new coaching staff. I mean, they only kept a few guys from the previous regime. I'm blanking on the special teams coordinator's name that they kept, but he's around, and then the turnover for the offense and the defensive coordinator positions, bringing in Patrick Graham from Miami, and then bringing over Jason Garrett to run the offense. That one, that's a big pickup. I think he's going to help move Daniel Jones along, help Saquon along, and then Joe Judge coming in as the head coach. And not going to lie, I mean, he's the same age I am, which kind of blows me away, but he when it was announced that they were hiring Joe Judge, I literally had to Google him. I had no idea who the guy was, and but the more I read on him, the more I was like, okay, well, this might work out. It's the type of guy that personally I wanted. I didn't want a guy who's an offensive guru. We had two of those, and we saw how that went. I didn't want somebody who's just going to be able to focus on one side of the football. I wanted somebody who's going to be able to see the whole thing. And the special teams guys, special teams coordinators, they do. They have to know what's happening with the offense. They have to know what's happening with the defense. They obviously have to know what's happening with the special teams. So I think bringing in a guy like Joe Judge to kind of do that, even though he's a 38-year-old rookie head coach with zero head coaching experience anywhere, but I think that's you got to start somewhere. I mean, not to compare him to Bill Belichick, who I agree with you is the greatest head coach to ever toe a sideline. but you got to start somewhere. I mean, Belichick had zero experience head coaching before he took the job in Cleveland. So you got to start somewhere, and I think that just watching and listening and reading, I think that this could be a guy that we could be hanging around for a while.
Well, that is awesome, man. You guys definitely have some good key pickups. And, yeah, man, I mean, overall, too, let's go into the draft, dude. You guys, okay, overall, I gotta look right now because I didn't even, I'm doing a million things at once right now. Trying to find some more fans and everything, especially for tomorrow's show. But, yeah, dude, your guys' draft, let's go take a quick look here because I'm telling you, I can't even recall. Let's see. There we go. There's a link in. Aha! Yes, there we have it. You know what? Not too shabby, my friend. Here we go, starting things off with the New York Giants draft this year, courtesy of Giants.com. And that's right, with the number 4 overall pick, you guys, I think, made one of the best picks you could possibly make. This makes so much sense. You know, Flowers is gone, right?
Thank goodness.
You and Meg, man. You guys just, oh, man. You know, that's one girl that don't like flowers. That was pretty good enough.
No, I mean, yeah, okay, I said that.
I'm sorry, that was good. Hopefully you're listening, Meg. But yeah, man, you know what? You guys have had a rough go at tackle, man. Like, you have no protection. Like, the offensive line is just full of holes, man. Like, the Swiss cheese offensive line, if you will. Like, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
It's cliche. Some people say the defense and everything, the Swiss cheese defense, when it's like a really crappy defense. But, dude, you guys made one of the biggest pickups I think you could possibly make. Young man out of Georgia, Andrew Thomas, is a freaking beast. This guy is a giant. He's a monster. He's already a giant. He's going to the Giants. He deserves to be there because he's so dang big. The guy is a great player, great footwork. He looked so good in Senior Bowl week. Well, I think he played the Senior Bowl week and played in the Senior Bowl. But regardless, man, this guy on the Combine, I mean, once again, I think he was the Combine, correct? He was. But, yeah.
He was there.
He was there, yeah. I mean, seriously, he looked pretty darn good. I remember him, and they were talking all about the Georgia linemen, and yeah, man, like, I think all of them went, like, that came out, and no matter what round they went in, they went, and I guess they were a big, powerful, tough unit, so, you know, picking him up was amazing. Then we go in the second round, we have Alabama, safety, Xavier McKinney, and why not? You know, you guys need help in the secondary, you guys have a lot of moving pieces. There was one spot in time when the Giants secondary was scary, now it's laughed at, so it's like, you need to gain more tough players, and, you know, a young man out of Alabama, I think, can definitely do the trick, because they always produce really good players, no matter, usually at every position. So then we have UConn, another big boy, Matt Pert, I believe they pronounce his name. Hopefully I don't want to butcher his name there, but once again, not far from you, man, over there in UConn. Once again, offensive tackle Matt Pert going to the Giants. UCLA, cornerback Darnay Holmes coming out. We have Oregon guard Shane Lemieux. You're beefing up the secondary and the offensive line there. Then we get into the linebacking corps. We got a young man out of Penn State, Cam Brown, and a young man out of Minnesota, Carter Coughlin, both linebackers. Those are later round guys. And of course we have Minnesota, a guy out of Minnesota, cornerback Chris Williamson, and you gotta, figure there could be something big here. I mean, Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. I mean, regardless, this guy played for an amazingly good Minnesota team. I mean, if you remember last year, Minnesota was ranked they were ranked high for the first time in a long time. I don't think I've ever seen Minnesota in my life. Of course, watching college football in the last, 15, 20 years. Well, 15 years around there. But dude, seriously, it's been amazing seeing them up there that high. It was last year, to think this guy could be a big part of it with that defense. And then out of Georgia, linebacker Tate Crowder. So you guys had 10 draft picks, man. Of course, there was a couple in the later rounds, but regardless, who do you think could come on in here right now and make a good impact for you guys?
Well, until he got hurt, I was going to say Xavier McKinney. He was a steal. He fell to us in the second round, and I couldn't have been more excited about him. I mean, I was really excited about Andrew Thomas, but when I saw that McKinney was coming to New York, I couldn't believe it. I mean, that's a kid that he was, following along with the Giants beat reporters on Twitter, and they're raving about the kid. Like, he was just coming on. He was just picking it up, and he was wicked smart kid. He getting guys in position. He had the defense down. He was doing it, and he would have been my pick for biggest rookie impact this year. because we would have been put him and Peppers back there, and we would have been set at safety for the year. And like you said, the Giants secondary is nothing to be afraid of at this point. Hopefully that changes this year, but jury will still be out on that. But I think the guy that will have and will absolutely need to have the biggest impact is Andrew Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Solder opted out for the year, understandably so. Nate Solder's a cancer survivor, and his son is currently battling cancer. So I mean, it was a no-brainer for him to opt out, and I wouldn't fault him for a second for it. So he was going to start at left tackle. Thomas is going to start at right, but now Thomas is sliding over to left, and he's going to have an immediate, and he's going to have to be that impact guy. And I think he's a rookie in the National Football League. He's going to be going up against guys like Brandon Graham, DeMarcus Lawrence, guys like that twice a year. So he's going to have his hands full, and he's going to get tested right off the bat. So he's going to have to be the biggest impact, and I think he will come around to have the biggest impact.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's freaking sweet. The guy is a beast. I did not know about McKinney, man. How long is he out for?
I think 10 weeks. He broke a bone. He broke a bone in his foot, I think. It was either that or he's going to be out for a while. He had to have surgery, so he's out for at least 10 weeks.
That sucks, man. Well, I'm praying for him, man. Hopefully he's all right and can come back soon. And that sucks, dude. That sucks. Yeah. Man. Well, it's all good, because, it's not all good. But you know what? In the next couple of years, hopefully he can be a big-time impact player for you guys.
That's the hope, yeah. I mean, he's got the tools for it and the pedigree, so we'll see. I hope he comes back ready and just hits the ground running.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome, man. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get rid of yesterday. Get rid of we got through last season. We got through, of course, this year in the off season. Now, let's go ahead and get on into let's go ahead and get on into this year. So, first and foremost, dude, you guys, man, there's so much promise on this freaking team. Like, okay, the defense, Meg has made it clear over the last year, and of course, for those of you who don't know, Miss Meg Renee is a part of our PR department, and she is definitely the founder, but she is just an agent at the moment, of course, because we had Taryn take over as the head, but it's really cool because she's the real deal. Her and Angela and Taryn do a great job in our PR department, and it's just crazy because I remember listening or seeing Meg's tweets like a couple of years back when they had, what was it called, Keith? The $200 million defense or whatever it was called. Like,
oh yeah, this is what you say. There's something like, if this is what $200 million in defense will buy us, I want my money back.
Yeah, that's what Meg said, dude. That was exactly. You remember the tweet, dude. I mean,
I do.
When she said that, I was cracking me up. Like she wasn't kidding. She was pissed off because seriously, Keith, that was almost like the Raiders defense, man. Like, you guys couldn't stop anybody. It's like, why does the defense even come out in the field? Like, why do you bother? You know what I mean? If you're gonna just stand there,
it was rough. Like, last year wasn't very good either, but at least we had ditched a couple of price tags. But yeah, when all that money got spent on the defense, it worked for 1 year, but after that, it kind of all came crashing down. And yeah, well, thankfully, hopefully, we got our money back.
Yeah, right. Well, I remember talking to you, and you said that money that you guys have pretty much got. You guys have basically gotten rid of everybody from that time period, correct?
Yeah, for the most part, everybody that was part of that regime is gone. I think there's only like a few players left from that were drafted during that time, and it's the two that come to mind are Sterling Shepard and Evan Ingram. And Shepard just got a contract extension last year, so he's around for even longer.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I'm sure he was a good player. Because, I mean, that whole time, I mean, it was hilarious, man. Like, she just didn't...
hold back.
She didn't hold back. And you know what, dude? It's okay, right? I mean, it's okay, because that was an annoying scene. You guys, like, I'm telling you, man, it was like, why send the defense out on the field? Like, they weren't going to do anything, right?
Yeah, no, it was tough. Like, for a team and a franchise that prides itself on defense, you look back through the 4 Super Bowls that we have, and it's the defense that kind of carried the way.
And then there was the last 10 years, or last 8 years, you know? I mean, it sucks, you know? So
the
you're right.
defense has been non-existent along with the offensive line.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. And the offensive line has been anything but scary. I mean, they've been anything but helpful, really. I mean, they haven't been much. So realistically, man, these Giants have just found themselves, you know, they've found themselves seeing better days. But I'll tell you what, man, there's a guy right now that I am really excited for, because this young man, Keith, played on a freaking 0-12 UTEP Miners football team. Came out in the Senior Bowl last year, dominated, and was drafted, and is now playing on your guys' offensive line. Do you know who that young man is?
That would be Will Hernandez.
That would be Will Hernandez. The young man didn't win a freaking single game in college. Well, his last year of college, playing for the UTEP Miners. And you know something? I salute this young man, because, you know, I mean, of course, hey, why not? He's going to the next level. He's playing football. But still, I mean, 0-12, you know, dude, I coached last year, unfortunately, on an 0-10 team. I never had a season where we didn't at least win one game. We had one of those, a 1-9 back in high school. But, you know, dude, in 0 for a team that's just 0 wins, I don't care who you are, that's demoralizing, dude.
Yeah, no kidding.
But okay. Talk about him, though, real quick, man. What in the last year, how much impact has he made? I mean, do you like him on the offensive line? Like, what has he really brought to you guys?
He brings a nastiness to that offensive line. Like, he's a mauler. Like, the dude, he's a big fella, and he moves well. He's got some work to do. He didn't regress, but he kind of didn't have a great year. His rookie year, he was pretty good and showed a lot of promise. But he's a guy I'm excited to have on that line. He brings an edge and a nastiness to it that you kind of need if you're going to be playing in the trenches. And I'm hoping that, you know, Mark Colombo, who came over from Dallas to be the offensive line coach, I'm hoping that he can just continue to cultivate that nastiness and just kind of keep pushing him and get him to be where we think he can get to. And you know, that's a guy who can anchor that left guard spot for a number of years and just kind of give the offensive line an edge that we need.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You guys are certainly a good football team, man. You guys are a good football team, in my opinion, when it comes to a couple certain things. Your linebackers are actually, you know what, they weren't so bad from what I can remember. The defensive line's not bad. The front seven's okay. I think. I don't know. Maybe you may differ. I don't know. But, I don't know. From what I can remember, okay? Then we have here the gosh darn, you know, then we have here your running backs. I mean, you got Saquon Barkley. The guy's a freaking beast. And your guys' quarterback, man. The youngster, Chase, right? Jones. Jones is the guy I'm talking about. Yep. Daniel Jones. I don't know why I want to say Chase Daniel, but yeah, Daniel Jones. I mean, you know what? Hearing that this young man got 2 master's degrees was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, he's smart. I mean, he's got the tools. He just really got the thing with Jones, and you know, you're going to hear this from anybody, and I'm sure we'll hear it throughout the season during primetime face-offs or whatever. They're going to bring up the fumbling issue. If he can get that straightened out, he's incredibly accurate with the football, you know, pushing it down the field. He doesn't launch a lot of deep balls, but you give him those, you know, intermediate to short stuff, and he's pinpoint, and that's kind of what you need in this league. But again, if he takes care of that fumbling issue, then we've got ourselves a good guy for the next, you know, 10, 15 years. If like I said, if that fumbling issue gets taken care of, we're set.
And that's awesome, man. I know he can definitely do his thing, and he's a young man out of Duke, and he does his thing. I thought he was a pretty good quarterback for you guys. Well, in the Senior Bowl, I thought he was a couple years back. Excuse me, a couple years back, and I think he can do some big things for you guys going down the stretch. Keep it up.
Yeah, it's something that we've. I don't even remember the last time we had somebody that could do this. You can actually run. You can move the ball with his feet if he needs to. We haven't, and Eli, love the guy, but he's not the fleetest of foot.
Well, I'm sure.
Thankfully, Daniel Jones can run the ball pretty well. I mean, that was evident when he scored the game winner against Tampa. He ran from about 25 yards out and ran in untouched. So he can move.
Yeah, at least he's got that going for him. So, all right, man. So, Keith, we have gotten here to the end of the segment. First things first, I just want to thank you, dude, once again, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Keith Zhang. This dude, man, awesome guy. Dude, thanks again for being on today's show. But we're not finished yet. We are not done. No. We are going to have a little bit of fun here. Keith, did you do the segment last year, 8 Division, 8 Days?
Yeah.
You did. So then you were familiar with Stick It To 'Em.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, good. Then dude, last year AFC week was awesome. We had some really respectful ones. We had some funny ones. We had some downright disrespectful ones. We had some in the middles. We just had all kinds of fun. So today, I mean, hey, it's NFC week, man. We're going to see if you guys can outdo the AFC this year. I mean, let's just see how it goes, man. The first week was pretty good. But here we go, man. So, there are 3 teams in your division that, you kind of don't like, I'm sure. You have the Dallas Cowboys, the now Washington football team, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And you're not a friend of any of them, really. And, yeah, so it's just funny that, you guys just aren't, the best of friends. Just kidding. No, I know what you mean, dude. The Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs, all of them, I can't stand any of them. I can respect them, but we're not friends for 3 hours that we're playing when we play each other, okay? That's all there is to it. But let's start things off, man, and have us some fun. And do this little segment we call Stick It To 'Em. So you have a few minutes here. Go ahead, man. The floor is yours. And talk about this team. Talk about how you guys... talk about how you think all 3 of these teams are going to do this year, and talk about what you think at the end, because I didn't know we would get into this part. At the end, talk about you guys. So you can be realistic, however you want to do it. Be a fan, be have blinders on, as I like to call it, or it could be realistic, or realistic could be the real thing. Who knows? Or just be a diehard, however you want to do it. But finish it off with your thoughts on the Giants season. But hey, man, if you want to go ahead and grill the other teams, do what you got to do. At the end of the day, man, you know the drill. Stick it to them.
All right. Well, let's start with the whatever they call themselves now, Washington Football Team Club. They don't know who they are. They have no identity. I think they got to figure out their own stuff before they can really start doing much of anything. I mean, just talking off the field, they got too much going on down there between the name change. They've got themselves a good a good head coach. I'll be honest. Ron Rivera that's a good thing for them, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I can chalk that up to 2 wins this year. Philly and Dallas. I mean, I'll put the realist cap on here for a second. I think they're going to be the top 2 in the division. I mean, they're probably going to finish 1-2. That said, I mean, if Carson Wentz goes down, who do they got backing him up? With Jalen Hurts? I mean, yeah, I like Jalen Hurts in college. I don't know if he's going to translate to the league. And when Carson Wentz gets hurt, we'll see what he's got. I mean, that's going to go a long way to determining whether how much of a contender Philly is this year. Is he going to go back to his MVP form, or is he going to play like he did last year? That's going to be how they determine it. And then Dallas. So Dak's starting in Dallas, right? Or is it Andy Dalton? And that's a rhetorical question.
Oh, that's a good answer. I was gonna try to answer that, but
no, I mean, yes, Dak's gonna start from what I assume, but you got Andy Dalton just standing there, kind of just peering in, watching, waiting. I'm not saying he's going to get in there and be any better, but that could be a little bit of a distraction. Zeke is Zeke, and he's going to do what he does. And the Dallas defense should be a little bit better. They still got a really good pass rush, which for a team that has a not so great offensive line scares the absolute daylights out of me. But their offensive line, I guess that's pretty good too, from what I hear. So I think, gosh, I hate saying this. I think Dallas is going to win the division. I think they've just got it there. Mike McCarthy's in town, and I just think that they've got top to bottom. They probably have the most talented roster in the division. Whether they can actually keep it together is to be determined. So I think Dallas, as much as it pains me, will probably win the division at like 10-6. Philly will, again, depending on the health of Carson Wentz, will fall into probably that 9-7 range again. And for us, oh gosh, if we somehow manage to squeak out an 8-8 year, being a realist here, we squeak out an 8-8 year, I'll do cartwheels in the snow. In my IE Sports Radio shirt.
Yeah! Hey, dude, you gotta rip the shirt, man, while you do it.
Yeah. But if we squeak out 8-8, I'll like I said, I'll do cartwheels in the snow in my IE Sports Radio shirt. But I think we're looking more like I'm thinking probably like a 7-9 type of year. But if, like I said at the top of the show, if we're able to have meaningful football games as a fan base, something that we're playing for, after Thanksgiving, that'd be huge. I think for us, we're not quite there yet. Being a realist here again, we're not quite there. I think we're a year or two away. We're a couple pieces, in particular, along that front five that that keeps Daniel Jones upright. I think we're a couple pieces away there. Some seasoning on the younger guys. We're a really, really young team. I think we're a year or two away from being, real contenders. But what I would consider a successful season, and I hate being like that, moral victory, because I don't believe in those. I think, being a realist, do these second and third year players take that next big step forward? If they can do that and things start looking like they're heading in the right direction, then that'll be successful, because these other two teams at the top of the division, their clock's ticking. We've got time. We've got the time. We've got the youth. The clock's ticking on those other guys.
That says a lot, man, because you guys are you're a tough team. Like I said, you got a lot going there for you guys, man. The youngster Peppers, too, man. He's a jack of all trades, man. And seriously, you can plug him in. Give him a little time. I think he's actually, the young man out of Michigan. He came out of Michigan, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Peppers, what was his first name again? Jabril Peppers, that's right. And you know what, man? Remember, he got drafted to the Browns, and the Browns finds a way to, have amazing drafts and still not be that good. So, I don't know how that works, but, is what it is. But, yeah, dude, I think you guys got a gem right there. And overall, this is a good football team. I feel like they just got to gel and come together, and let's see what this, you said, this youth is coming along, and there we go, man. So, without further ado, dude, thanks again. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Keith Zhang. Dude, where can all these diehard New York Giants fans find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Coach Keith G. So, I'm on there. I'm trying to be active. I'm more active during football season, but it's just to have some fun. Looking forward to a good season.
Hey, you know what, man? That's what it's all about. And I'm glad, really glad you were able to join me tonight, man. This is a lot of fun. I'm glad that, we can sit here and talk some football and just, like you said, shoot the breeze and have a good talk, man. So seriously, man, thanks again. I appreciate you, brother. Have you a wonderful rest of your evening, man. Because seriously, I know we took a lot of time today just BSing and the whole bit, like you say, shooting the breeze. But that was a lot of fun catching up and everything. But yeah, man, have you a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care, man. God bless you and your family. I hope everything is going well over there and keep staying well. And dude, we look to have you back for some primetime face-offs this year, man.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, and thanks for having me on there. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun, dude.
It always is, man. I appreciate you again, man. Take care, and we'll talk to you this year.
All right, thanks, buddy. God bless you.
Thank you, brother. Take care. Alrighty, that will do it for that segment there for the New York Football Giants. Awesome, man. Once again, y'all, Keith Zhang, the guy's a real deal. Awesome stuff, man. We're a little bit over on time, but it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, when we get back, we are 2 teams down, 2 to go. We are talking the Washington football team coming up next. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 Days, NFC East edition. You like how I kind of forgot the name and kind of, just hung on real quick there and had a couple pauses. You like that? You're listening to 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 Days, NFC East Day, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Were you listening to a great game on USRN, but then the Wi-Fi crashed in the final seconds? Or do you simply want to listen to the best calls we here at USRN have to offer? Well then, you need to go check out our Audio Boom page. It holds a collection of our best calls that you don't want to miss. How do I get there, you ask? You can download the Audio Boom app and look up Ultimate Sports Radio, or simply go to audiobook.com/Ultimate Sports Radio. And as always, thanks for listening and making USRN one of the most talked about sports networks on Mixler.com.
Motor City, Detroit, stand up. This is the Mitten Sports Podcast Show with AW covering Detroit Mitten Sports from your Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons. Also, Michigan State Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans. Listen to me every Sunday right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What up, though, Detroit?
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your brother Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for the defining moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
To the Soccer Scoreboard Show with your host, Gabriel Montoya. This is the show for soccer, football fans, or whatever you call the beautiful game. Every week, I tackle the latest and greatest news from around the soccer world. From the English Premier League, to the World Cup, to MLS, Liga MX, and more. You can listen to the Soccer Scoreboard Show and our lineup of fantastic guests every Friday at noon here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development. But we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
Hey guys, it's Blake Henley, better known as H-Town Blake to some of you. Happy to announce that Bases Loaded is back in full force. We'll be bringing that high heat every Tuesday night here on IE Sports Radio. So come home, get ready, dig into that batter's box, and see if you can chase that high heat, baby. So we'll be coming to you live with all the stats, all the rundowns, all the division rivalries, and every team that's going to make the playoff push to get to that one and only October and get to the pinnacle of what baseball is, to hoist that Commissioner's Trophy when it's all said and done.
College football, and do you want to hear a college football show dedicated to all that is college football, including junior college in the CCCAA and in the NJCAA, the NAIA, and the NCAA, including Division III, Division II, Division I AA in the FCS, and Division I Single A in the FBS? Well then look no further. Join myself, Larry B., and my colleagues, Mr. H-Town Blake, Blake Henley, and Mr. Christian Espinoza, each week during the college football season for the latest in college football on 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. That is right, y'all. 3 and Out College Edition coming your way hopefully sometime this week. Trying to figure out a dang day for this. So busy, but Darren and I will be getting back on air this week on StreamYard, and I'll tell you, why not? I mean, I figured we were trying to get the show going yesterday, couldn't get it going on today, but regardless, Darren and I still find ourselves on air together, as he is now joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, he is co-host of 3 and Out College Edition. He is, of course, host and founder of Set Point and the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, I now give this title to him and Daryl, man, one of the hardest working men here at IE Sports Radio, Mr. Taryn Rodriguez. What's going on, Taryn? How you doing today, man? Uh-oh, we got you there, Taryn? Uh-oh, looks like we might have lost Taryn.
Oh, silly me. I accidentally muted my mic.
Oh, you are good. What's going on, Taryn? How you doing today, man?
Doing good, Larry. Sorry about that.
You're
but I'm ready
good,
to talk
man.
some football with you, some Washington football team football, and yeah.
Appreciate that, man. So first things first, yeah, we had a little mix-up with our guest who was supposed to be on with the times and everything. This just didn't work today, which kind of sucks. But is what it is, man. Taryn to the rescue. He said he'd jump on for a little bit. We only got a little bit less than 30 minutes, actually, to talk about this team. But regardless, Taryn, man, the Washington football team, I mean, if there was ever a roller coaster in football, I mean, you know, this team is... They've had some tough breaks, and they sort of consistent in the last 2 decades with the playoffs. Not really, just a lot of stuff happening. I mean, this team just couldn't quite get it together. They've had, you know, the unfortunate thing with RG3 just not working out with him, and just a lot of players, man. They have just seen better days for sure in the 80s and in the early 90s, but total bummer, man. This team hasn't been really relevant in the last, the last 2-3 decades. Well, kind of like 3, but still, or in the early 90s. But regardless, man, this team has just hit some rough ground. And then, of course, this year, the elephant in the room, how do we not talk about this? But, you know, the team who has had a previous other name is now here as the Washington football team. And there is no mascot, and we're 5 days away from the actual start of the season on Sunday. So when it comes down to it, Taryn, first things first, man. I mean, what do you think about this whole offseason thing with this team?
So, yeah, it's been a complete gong show for the Washington football team, and for good reason as well. I mean, at least they're trying to pick up the pieces at the very least, so I'll give them that much. But for the most part, it's just been like a major rebuild for them. Like it's tough. It's tough. Like, but me personally, I hope they do get back on track. They're one of the more prouder programs. They've won 3 Super Bowls, and it would be great to have that third tough NFC East team, because I don't know if anyone follows me on Twitter, but I said that the NFC East is going to be a 2-horse race between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Nothing against the Giants and the Washington football team, but I just think the Cowboys are the deeper team, and then the Eagles are the reigning NFC East champs, and for the most part, they're the two-headed monster of the division. Like, you look at the standings, both of those teams struggled to finish over 500 or 500 or better, and they just barely inched to that promised land of 500-ness. So overall, it's going to take a lot for the Washington football team to pretty much compete with those two. And funny thing is that the Washington football team opens up with Philadelphia, and that's already a tough matchup as it is, but there could be some hope.
Yeah, overall, man, this is just a tough go. I mean, we've gone over here to take a look at their free secrecy over the cap.com, and yeah, man, I mean, Washington football has just seen better days. They've had a couple of different transactions happening, and you know, this is just a bummer for these guys. I mean, there were some, you know, key transactions, if you will, that just, I don't know. Overall, it's tough, man. They lost. In my opinion, one of the best players they had in Trent Williams. Josh Norman is now gone. I mean, it's rough because this team has so much to look forward to. You know, they lost Jordan Reed as well to the Niners. I mean, it's just rough. Case Keenum's now gone. Not that they really needed him, but you know, Ron Darby is heading on over there, which is pretty cool. They will keep Brandon Scherf, which is an absolute beast. Thomas Davis will head on over there from the Chargers. You know, a thing or two about him. Terrence, excuse me. We have here, you know, just a couple of different things happening, different transactions. But regardless, man, I'm not going to even get too much into their draft, but I mean, sorry, into their free agency. But you know what, dude? Seriously, it's just been something else. Like, this team has seen some struggles, and then, of course, going into the name change and everything this year. But, dude, this has been quite the battle all year. The last couple of years, and it's like with everything that happened, of course, they're going to get into the name change. But then, you know, they switch head coaches, and I guess you could say if there was any positives in this whole thing, I mean, Ron Rivera coming to the rescue. Unfortunately, hearing about Ron Rivera's health is a terrible thing, and my prayers to you, good sir. I'm a big fan of Ron Rivera. I think the only Latino head coach in the NFL, and he's just a really big time. You know, just no matter what, regardless, just saying, he's a great coach no matter what. Are the coaches better? Yeah, I mean, I could say Andy Reid definitely is. I mean, you know, but no matter what, though, I'm just a fan of his, and I think he did his best in Carolina, and, you know, change scenery is great, but it's like, man, he goes over there and gets everything kind of just switches up and changes and falls apart for him, and this has been kind of rough, man. So what would you think, you know, even with this whole new switch up and change for everybody in Washington, man, what do you think? Well, in Washington, D.C., what are you thinking right now, even with this whole new, like, revamped look? I mean, there's still some rough road ahead, right?
Right, there is a rough road ahead. And the good thing about the Washington football team is that they will get back Alex Smith, which is good, and his story is inspiring, and it pretty much basically tells everyone not to give up and just to stay the course. That's just from an inspirational standpoint. For the for the Washington football team, obviously they got some talent. They got Kendall Fuller from the Chiefs, which is a plus, and it's just, I think their key will probably be their defense. I think once they get a good defense built up, I think that team will be a lot better, because you obviously need a good defense. Otherwise, you won't be able to compete with the high-powered offense that's Dallas, the solid offense that is Philadelphia, and the up-and-coming powerhouse offense that is the Giants. Because look at the Giants. They have Daniel Jones, Sterling Shepard, Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram. That's just scratching the surface right there. So I think in that division of the NFC East, I think Washington's defense needs to be big time, because if not, then they're going to be the doormat of the division, and they don't want that. I honestly think they can turn it around, but it's going to take like a few more years, like maybe 2 to like 5, in my opinion. No?
I agree. I agree, man. Josh says here, my buddy Josh texts me right now and says, I think Washington, thanks for listening, brother, at work right now, but he says, I think Washington becomes the surprise team this year. Ron Rivera has full football decision-making power. I think he pulls off a upset. Well, that's saying, I mean, I don't know. What are you saying there, Josh? You saying a upset? Because a upset is okay, but what we're talking about, like a upset in the season, like over a big time team, or are we talking like an actual like season upset where they like make the playoffs and look way better than what we all think? Because those are two different things. I mean, can they pull off a upset? Darren, you know as well as I do, upsets can happen no matter what. I mean, that 0-12 UTEP team that Keith and I were just talking about a couple, in this last segment. I mean, I was pulling for them the whole year that year on College Edition, and they didn't win. But it's like, any of those teams, though, they could have won, and that would have been considered an upset. But, it's any given Sunday, any given day, whichever, and that's really it. But yeah, I mean, Josh, I love your enthusiasm, brother. Can they win games that are upsets? Yes. At least one, yeah. But when it comes to them breaking out and being this crazy thing, I don't know. And then, he said upset and okay. Upset and slide in the playoffs past the Cowboys. Well, Josh, I love your enthusiasm, brother. But Karen, you want to take that one?
Okay, well, looking at Washington's schedule, they open up with a pretty tough game against the Eagles. Now, the Eagles are a bit beaten up, and we're not sure about what's going to happen with Carson Wentz, but that one's a little bit of a stretch. You look at their next game against the Cardinals, that's a bit of a stretch, since, to me, I think Arizona is drastically improved. Cleveland is still good, but I think that is winnable. The Ravens are obviously the Ravens. The Rams, even though they've fallen off a bit, I think will still probably beat Washington. The Giants at New York, probably would go with the Giants. Depends on who they have and who they don't have. Cowboys, I mean, it kind of has happened before. I did see one big upset of the football team beating the Cowboys, considering, but that was because of a snap infraction. So, yeah. And the funny thing is that Washington plays the Giants a few weeks after they play the Giants on the 18th. So, they could possibly take the Giants at least 1 out of 2 times in that span of 3 weeks. And then Detroit could be easy pickings, maybe the Bengals too. But then after that, their schedule gets really tough for the most part. Like, after they face the Bengals, they play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. Like, the Cowboys always come to play on Thanksgiving. And I think it's like, when it comes to the Cowboys, like, you have to be really good to beat them on Thanksgiving, because first of all, it's a quick turnaround for Washington from Sunday all the way to Thursday. Like, Dallas is used to it, considering they're annually playing on Thanksgiving. So that's why I think the Cowboys will probably win on Thanksgiving, and it's at Jerry World. So you also have to factor factor that in as well. Then after that game, they have the Steelers. That's, even though they're going to get well rested, the Steelers are going to be better prepared so long as they have Big Ben. And the 49ers are always tough. The Seahawks are always tough. The Panthers, I don't know. I think they can beat. I think Washington could beat the Panthers, and then the Eagles, depending on where the Eagles are, whether they've won the division or whether they're fighting for the division, maybe. So I don't know. I mean, there is some optimism, but Chase Young's going to have to probably grow up as. I mean, he's not immature or anything, but I just think that it's going to take him a while, like, get used to it, and there is going to be growing pains. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely, man. I mean, right now, yeah. To answer to Josh, I don't see that happening at all, brother. If the Reds, I'm sorry, I almost said it. Oh my gosh, if the Washington football team doesn't, if they slip past the Cowboys or anybody, I'll be very surprised. I mean, the Giants are going to be their competition this year. I mean, spoiler alert, I know I'm not really, and I like to see the Giants do good too, but I don't really see that either. So once again, spoiler alert for the final weigh-in in a little bit. But regardless, this division right now is a little too tough for this Washington team, and though Ron Rivera is the man at the helm, and next year could be way different, because give him a year there and he can make some things happen. Could it be a gigantic year where they do make the playoffs? Depends on how well they do in the offseason, but once again, I wouldn't bet on that. Like Taryn was saying, we're looking at like 5 years. Like we're looking in the next like 5 years for them to do something, turn around, because it's a lot. There's a lot of work that has to be done, and this team isn't going to just jump in there and start winning games. The NFL, you always hear coaches say like, winning games in the NFL is extremely hard, and it's true. I mean, no matter what, it sounds very cliche, but it's the truth, man. These teams you have the best of the best from all the college teams playing here. You have the best of the best of the NFL. Guys who are seasoned veterans and just have earned their stripes, and it's just not easy. It's not. Winning games in the NFL is not easy. So for a team that has just been through a lot, who doesn't have, all the talent they need, and who doesn't, don't get me wrong, all that defensive line is nasty. I am such a big fan of the defensive line. They have amazing talent there. But it's just everything, y'all. All in all, I mean, you need a little bit more than that. You need more than one core to be really good. Look at the Niners. I mean, yesterday I was raving about them, but you need everything to be good to win the Super Bowl for sure, and to at least get to the playoffs. You need everything to be pretty damn good, regardless of just getting to the playoffs. So overall, Darren, this has just been a rough go for this team, and I would just like to say that we here just wish them all the best in this season. But yeah, Taryn, I mean, really, realistically though, man, right now, speaking talk about like Ron Rivera and what this team has been able to do, what they've been able to do in the offseason. And before we get to the draft real quick, we only got like 12 minutes left here in this, but overall, man, what do you think? Like, if this team were to look somewhat decent, would you say that that's all Ron, or would you say that that's like, just the team that has a lot of heart that's trying to make things right in a year that is really tough? I mean, I know it's a combination of both, but I mean, do you feel like bringing Ron Rivera in right now is the saving grace for this team, or do you feel like it's a start?
Yeah, I think it's a start. I definitely think he is a great head coach. And funny thing is that Riverboat Ron, or Ron Rivera, will get a chance to face his old team, the Carolina Panthers. And honestly, I'm looking. That is something I definitely look forward to. And I think I personally hope Washington sticks it to the Panthers for giving him the boot. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. So I think bringing in Rivera is a great start, and they have promise. The problem is that they're just so young. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they were like top five youngest teams in the NFL. So again, it's just going to be about time. It's all about time on how they can develop. It's either you're the team that rebuilds instead of reloads, or the team that reloads instead of rebuilds. And personally, I think Washington is the team that rebuilds instead of reloads. So, and bringing in Ron Rivera just definitely is like the thing that screams rebuild. But the good thing is that they got rid of Bruce Allen, aka the guy that said the culture is actually pretty dang good, when that was completely a lie. So at least the Washington is picking up the pieces and hopefully starting to build something big. Like, I think they could be big in a few more years, but again, it's just going to be about time and growing pains and all that. So that's my thing.
I agree, man. This has just been it's been a crazy year, man, for everybody, but especially, for teams like this too. I mean, I agree with you, man. The culture, it's just, everything was just, there was time for a change. There was change to be needed, and well, here it is now. So, overall, what do you do? I think they did what was best in the best interest for their team, and I feel like, the name change and everything, and, everything will be just fine. Teams change all the time. Teams always change names. It happens, and it was for the better. So, regardless, we're good. Everything's fine with this team right now. And overall, I guess Josh says we'll see week 14 where they stand, LOL. Well, we shall see, Josh. But yeah, man. So overall, this team, I don't know. They've had a crazy year. So okay, so let's go to the draft real quick and take a look at the Washington football team draft. So some not bad choices. I'll tell you that right now. They have some good picks here. Chase Young, defensive end out of Ohio State. He's making that defensive line even nastier. Antonio Gibson, wearing those really cool jerseys at Memphis, running back out of Memphis. We have Sadiq, I believe, I don't butcher his name, but Charles, a tackle out of LSU, coming off a national championship. Antonio Gandy Golden, wide receiver out of Liberty. Keith Ismail, center out of San Diego State. We have Khalik, I believe, I don't butcher his name either, but Hudson, linebacker out of Michigan. Carmen Curl, out of safety out of Arkansas. James Smith-Williams, defensive end out of North Carolina State, and that's it. So overall, let's take a quick look here, man. What do you think? Do you think any of these guys can make an immediate impact on this team?
Yes, and for one reason why is because Washington can only go up. They can only go up from here on out. Like, it can't get any worse than them unless, heaven forbid, they go further down than 3 wins. So I definitely think those guys can build a new foundation for Washington. And furthermore, it's going to take time, but they're in the NFL now, so they're obviously going to take their lickings from other teams, but the future looks bright for them. So I personally think Washington has a good young core, and they did well in the draft, and they'll probably still be in the draft for the most part, but I think this draft core looks good in terms of this year. And as long as they can work well with veterans and they mesh with one another against certain teams, I think Washington can at least try to pull out some wins. They can at least try to make it competitive. I know most teams don't like moral victories, but for a team like this, a young team like this, I think that's kind of where it's going to be going at for them.
I agree, and yeah, man. Let's take a look here. Josh says now don't think they will win much in playoffs, but before I think they will slide in. I think that's still that's just a far fixed reach to say. I don't think they will, but hey, Josh is having high hopes for this team, and he's a Rams fan, y'all. So pretty cool. He's got love for the Washington football team, but yeah, man, I'm with you there, Taryn. I just don't see really anything too spectacular from this team this year. I'm not saying they're gonna go 0-16, okay, but I'm definitely not saying they're gonna go freaking 10-6 or even 9-7 for that. This team has a lot of growth, and like you mentioned, Riverboat Ron, he's there. He definitely is there. I mean, you see his name, and it's okay. Well, yep, rebuild. Like they're trying to do it, and they're trying to do it quick. They got a great coach. They want to make things happen fast. And of course, what team doesn't? Who goes into this thing saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to rebuild slow"? No, you want to be competitive. You want to win, but will you? Will you be competitive? Will you win? That's a big if. So, I agree, Taryn. We just got to hope that some of these games are really competitive. But in closing, man. This year, realistically, what do you see? What do you see for this team, man?
So, I want them to at least get third place in the NFC East. If they can get third, that to me is like an accomplishment. If they get second, then that's going above and beyond. And if they get first, that's really overachieving right there. So. But to me, I think third place at the best is where Washington's going to be at. I hope that's the case. And again, it's moral victories. Like moral victories are victories quite the same. I mean, obviously, it doesn't show on the win-loss column, but at least they're getting their confidence up going forward. At least they're not like blowing everything up right now, and they're getting rid of like every star they have. Otherwise, they would have gotten rid of Chase Young, Dwayne Haskins, Chris Thompson, everything, everyone that pretty much has talent on that team. So overall, I think Washington is in a good spot in the future. But in closing, I just think that this year is just going to be very tough, and I just think they're going to be no better than third place.
Yeah, I'm surprised you gave them that, Darren. I don't know. I mean. They're going to fight for third place. I just don't know if they'll get it. I mean, that's all there is to it. But if they were to get it, I know what you're saying is if they were to get it, that's still an accomplishment because at least they did something and they didn't finish in the basement of the NFC. So I'm totally with you there, buddy. So yeah, man, I really hate to have such a low, type of segment here where there's like, we're just kind of sound like two Debbie Downers, man, and we're not. It's just the fact that we're just speaking real, and this team's seen some crap this year, so hopefully next year we're talking a lot better about this team, and they hopefully have a new mascot by then, and I hope they have a new mascot by this weekend. I mean, seriously, y'all, like this is that's gonna be really weird for them to just not have a mascot. I mean, but it is what it is. We'll see how things go, but regardless, y'all, this has been a lot of fun. Taryn, man, we only got a couple more minutes here left for this, so go ahead, man, plug away. But my apologies, by the way, dude, I forgot about set point and volleyball coming up right now. I know, I know you mentioned it, but dude, I got so much that I look at all the time, and this is so weird, and 2020 has been freaking insane. So, yeah, man, so anyway, with that said, brother, go ahead and plug yourself, man. Tell all these listeners where they can find you, of course, where they can find your shows, what's coming up on Set Point, what's coming up on the SoCal Supreme Sports Show on Friday now. It's new time. Let them know everything, man.
So actually, just to briefly close, I will say this, Washington fans, it's 2020, a lot of crazy things have been going on. Don't lose hope. Like, possibly, who knows, maybe Washington will prove us wrong, and then we'll be looking back on this and saying, oh, this didn't age well, whoops. So anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at Taran Rodriguez1. Teran is my first name. Rodriguez is the last name of my name, and then the number 1. And so that's me on Twitter. As for Set Point today, I will be previewing the matchups that are going on this Friday and Saturday. Yes, there is NCAA women's volleyball, despite most of the conferences canceling and not having started their season yet. You could thank the Sun Belt Conference and some of the independent schools for that no longer have a conference for starting up the NCAA women's volleyball season. So that's kind of the reason why Set Point is pretty much back to talking NCAA volleyball. And the season one finale of Set Point is next Tuesday, and I hope to have a big show there. So, yeah, so you can follow Set Point on Twitter at set_point.ie, and then you can follow the SoCal Supreme Sports Show at SoCal Show IESR. And this Friday, we've got a lot to talk about. We're talking about the Lakers and Clippers and how they're doing in the playoffs. Talk about the LA Galaxy's hot start.
Yeah.
The Dodgers surging. The Dodgers continue to surge. The Padres trying to catch the Dodgers. The Angels surprisingly sweeping the Astros. And the Sparks trying to get to the number 1 seed or trying to get a first round bye. So that's pretty much what's on deck for the SoCal Supreme Sports Show.
There you go, man. So I'm excited, and I'm excited. Like, really, I'm excited for the show, man. So keep it up, and just, do your thing, brother. Keep up the great work, man. So season finale is going to be this week, right? And then we're going to restart, or how's it going to go, man? Because isn't volleyball just starting?
Yeah, so I did say I kind of was foolish when I scheduled the season finale for the 22nd, because I didn't know everything volleyball was coming back this past weekend until someone on Twitter gave me a docket of the women's volleyball teams that are playing, because the NCAA women's volleyball site isn't working. It won't let me go past the Wisconsin-Stanford final from last year. So, yeah, NCAA, you got some splaining to do. So, yeah, next Tuesday is the season finale, and then in 2 more weeks will be the season 2 premiere, and that's where I'm pretty much going to go in depth in regards to like most of these teams, because the ACC is going to will have already played, I think, that week, and then the Big 12 will be playing, and I pretty much talked about how Baylor and Texas are pretty much the heavy favorites to win that conference and possibly make the division, the final, which is postponed, which I don't know how they're going to work that, because in 1 week from tomorrow, the Division I committee is going to be talking about how they're going to be factoring in the fall sports championships, especially for women's volleyball. So a lot of questions will be answered on that day. So I can also thank the Long Beach State women's volleyball coach, Joy Mackenzie Furbringer, for hinting me onto that. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, dude, thanks again, man, for joining us here today. That was a lot of fun talking some watching this football with you, man. Looking forward to all the great stuff coming up with Set Point and the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, man. So, with that said, brother, we will catch you soon, man. Thanks again. God bless you and your family. Take care, and we'll hear you tonight, man.
Hey, thank you. I shall see you in the chat room at 5:30 Pacific Time, 8:30 Eastern Time.
Catch you then, brother. Take care.
Yeah, have a great rest of the show, Larry. I'll be listening in.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, John. That was Tara Rodriguez, man, joining us in the collection. Appreciate you, man. Big shout out, of course, and thank you to all of to everyone doing their thing, man. But here we go. We're just a short break, and when we get back, we got another newcomer. This dude I'm really excited for because the story is really cool. I even know this guy. So, my first time even talking to him. Once again, it's a cool story. Get ready for it, y'all. So, with the other side of this break, we got Mr. Doug joining us, y'all. I'm excited, man. Really, really, really excited to do this dang thing, man. This dude, I'm sorry, I'm telling him I said Doug. Mr. Daniel, he said Dan or Daniel, so either way, we are going to... I'm going to give him the best introduction that I can. You're going to see why, y'all. Trust me. This is going to be a lot of fun to introduce him because of the way I even know him. So, with that said, y'all, we got some Philadelphia Eagles coming up next to close out the show. Let's do it, y'all. With that said, y'all, this is 3 and Out, 8 Division 8 days. NFC East Day right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct fit for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You gotta check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Here we go, football fans. Here we go. Welcome back, y'all. We have 3 teams down, 1 more to go. Finishing up day number 6 here on 8 divisions in 8 days. Right here, y'all. 3 and out, 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC East Day. Finishing it off with the team that won it all last year. Well, not all, but at least won it all in the division. And did their thing. And I want to introduce somebody who, this is a long time coming, because I was like, it's been, like, I had even mentioned this to his wife, how I met him about a month ago, and I'm pretty sure he was like, for a while, like, okay, well, I'm wondering where this guy's at, gonna hit me up, but finally got to him. We had to push 8 divisions in 8 back, 8 divisions in 8 days back this year, of course, because, we had no preseason, so we're just riding it right on into the season this coming Thursday. But, man, I'm glad to have him on here. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, this past year, I was finishing my doing my master's at the school that I love so very much, and I'll be teaching at this coming fall at CBU, California Baptist University, and I was really excited to, just talk with everybody there and just be a part of the entire place. Student body, the staff, everybody. I loved it. When I was there doing my undergrad, it was really cool. And this past year was really cool as well, because, of course, I got to know my professor, and her and I got really cool and everything. But the craziest part about this whole thing is my one-stop advisor. she is awesome. And big shout out to Miss Danielle, guys. She's amazing. And she really helped me out this year a lot. Like, a lot. I hit some hard times, man. This master's took me by storm. I mean, it was tough. I had to do the master's. I was working a full-time job last year before COVID just snatched that away from me, and did that, and I was coaching, and I was just doing a lot. I had the podcast going, I had all kinds of stuff going on, and she really helped me out, helped me organize my thoughts, helped me organize, helped me even figure out really what it was I wanted to do in life after my my graduation. Sorry, before my graduation. And kind of funny, her and I got talking one day. Football came up, and when we were talking in her office, and she brought up her husband, who is just a diehard Eagles fan. And well, I put 2 and 2 together, and I says, we have to have this guy. We have to have him on this show. And she says, you want him? Here you go. So I'm happy they could be here today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here for his first time, hopefully first time of many. He just told me he played for one of the biggest, baddest schools around here, around our area in the IE in the 90s. And, well, let's just say I'm pretty sure this guy was a stud athlete because, well, to play for the school, you kind of had to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here for his first time of hopefully many. The one, the only, Mr. Daniel Geis. What's going on, Daniel? How you doing today, man?
Hey, thanks so much for having me, man. Great intro. Danielle, she does her thing. She does really well. She's probably more of a beast at her job than I was in high school. So.
well, sorry about
and thanks for saving the best team for us, that division. So that's great stuff.
Hey, first things first, brother. I just gotta say, I always try and end it with the champs, unless there's like some kind of time conflict. That's it. I gotta end it with the champs because the champs won it all last year. So let's get right in. You're absolutely right, man. Danielle's awesome. Like I said, she helped me a lot, man. And like I said, I'm glad because now look at that, man. Got another Eagles fan right here. Boom. So I'm just glad you could be a part of this. Thank you so much for listening to the show today. I know you were hearing the previous fans talking. I think you've been listening to the whole show, basically.
They were hilarious.
Yeah, man. I thought there was a lot of realism in there, but with that said, brother, man, I'm glad to have you here today, man. Speaking of last season, let's get into last season. So last year, you guys did the dang thing, didn't get all the way, but you still won the division. Talk us through every emotion last year as an Eagles fan.
Man, last year was a roller coaster, to say the least. You start off the year with Deshaun Jackson catching about 150-some yards and 2 touchdowns and beating I guess then it was the Washington Redskins, and now they wanted to change their name to the football team. So we crushed them a little bit, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt, people start going down, and we end the year with a practice squad. And we have to beat the Cowgirls to pretty much clinch the division, and we beat them with the practice squad, and Carson Wentz did his thing all year, and unfortunately he went down the first playoff game, and that the whole season was just so crazy, just dealing with all the emotions of everybody getting hurt. All of our receivers were hurt. Our offensive line was hurt. Our running backs were hurt. We had nothing. We had nothing. Our defensive backfield was in shambles. Like they were getting burnt like toast, and it was a rough year for sure, but to pull it out and win that division, I mean, you mentioned earlier one of your interviews where was the division really that good or was the division just that bad?
Yeah.
And regardless, who cares? Because we won the division. We had a really good chance to beat the Seahawks in the first round. But, of course, Carson Wentz, I don't know, I think he clipped his fingernail or something and was out for the rest of the game. And we had to go with Cade McNown, who's now our practice squad quarterback. And he almost pulled it through. But who knows what would have happened if Carson stayed healthy in that Seahawks game, and we could have done some big things. And we had some guys. The good thing about last season, we had some guys that, like Greg Ward or Boston Scott. Boston Scott came through and scored 3 touchdowns against the Giants at the end of the season. And Greg Ward stepped up as a big-time receiver and came out of nowhere, came out of college as a quarterback out of Houston. And those guys are on the squad this year. So, it's good. It's a good thing that they got some experience to play and to play big roles. And now just go in there and continue it throughout this year. And if we can stay healthy, it's game time.
Absolutely. So I love it, man. You guys really had a decent year last year. And silly me, man, I skipped usually the first question for diehards, man, when we first come on here. But what was it, man? What was it that made you such a diehard Eagles fan, especially over here in Southern California, man?
Man, well, I grew up playing football since I was about 7 years old, and I was always a defensive guy. I always played linebacker or safety. Did a little bit of receiver, but for the most part, growing up, I was a defensive guy. When I played football in high school, I was a linebacker, and just that defense back in the early '90s with Reggie White and Clyde Simmons and Seth Joyner and Andre Waters and all those guys. That defense was solid with Buddy Ryan coaching, and that defense got me liking them. And I was also, back in the day, I love Barry Sanders. I like the Lions, and there was a time where I'm like, look, man, I'm getting a little older. I can't be liking two teams. So if they played in the playoffs one year, I'm like, all right, whoever wins this game, that's my team for life. And the Eagles crushed them, and it's been history since. And it's just that defense is really what made me starting to like them as I was a young lad, and that was it. Those guys were beasts back in the day. I loved it. And Jerome Brown passed away, I think, 91, 92, and I remember that so vividly. I think it was a car accident, and it's just, that was my team ever since, middle school. I was in middle school from, 1990 to 92, and that was it.
That's incredible, man. That's awesome. He became such a diehard fan, and that's awesome, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, y'all, Mr. Daniel Geis, this is awesome, man. You had quite the journey as a football player, as a fan. I mean, this is awesome, man. And here you are now repping your team, and I definitely can see your knowledge about them, man. So, with that said, we talked about, of course, last year. Already got on into it. Now, let's go ahead and get on into this Eagles free agency, man, because where's this? I'm telling you, man, I've been ranting and raving about this website, man. This website is the coolest site I think I've ever seen with free agency, ever, y'all. Once again, where is this at? Let's get on over here, take a look at what's going on over thecap.com. Here we go. Let's go ahead and get it and talk about these Eagles transactions from this last offseason. So, Darius Slade didn't get along with Matt Patricia, but he's certainly getting along with Peterson. He's heading on over to the Eagles to play. That was pretty awesome. Malcolm Jenkins, we had Coach Payton, okay, straight up, y'all. He went on over and said that this was probably one of the dumbest things he's ever done. He literally went on record and said, yeah, that was a mistake. Not one of the dumbest things he's ever done, but he said it was a mistake letting go of Malcolm Jenkins. Well, he ended up with the Eagles. Well, guess what? Now he's back to the Saints. So that was a big departure. However, bringing Darius Slade, still some power in that secondary. Ronald Darby will head on over to the Washington football team. We have Marquise Goodwin heading from the Niners over to the Eagles. Pretty big pickup there. Jason Peters will re-sign. Nikel Roby-Coleman will come on over now from the Rams. Great pickup there. Rodney McLeod will be back on to the Eagles. Pretty awesome there. Nate Sudfeld will also stay. We have Nelson Aguilar. I don't know how you feel about him, but I'm an SC guy, so I'm glad he's a part of my Raiders now. We have Vinny Curry staying there. Timmy Jernigan will head on over to the Jaguars. In my opinion, big departure there. Let's see here. But regardless, y'all, Crevon LeBlanc staying there. We had a lot of big ups and downs and moves in there, anything like that, but I'm not going to sit here and talk about every single one of them. We could. Definitely, though. Daniel, the floor is yours, man. Talk about any, even ones I didn't mention, departures or pickups or re-signings for the Eagles, man. The floor is yours. Talk about how they could all be an impact in some way.
Well, obviously the biggest pickup of the offseason was Darius Slade. It's tough. He's a really good corner with Detroit, but we've had that before. We've signed a lot of big time corners in the past, and they turned out to be flops. Namdi, remember when Namdi came over? Can't remember who he came from. I think he may have came from the Lions also, but he came from, and he was just a flop. So I'm really hoping Darius steps up and does the same. The good thing with him is he's going against Deshaun Jackson in practice, and yes, Deshaun Jackson is beating him pretty regularly from what I hear. But that's pretty much going to be one of the fastest guys he faces all year. And if he can hang with Deshaun, we should be good. And Rodney McLeod, I'm not too sure how he's going to fit in at strong safety there. Jalen Mills switching over to free safety. I think he'll probably be fine. He'll probably be better not having to just have one-on-one corner roles. I like Avonte Maddox kind of holding down that number 2 corner spot. So I think our 4 starting defensive backs are pretty good. I think we picked up Kayvon Wallace in the draft, and I hope to have big things from him as a Clemson guy. I imagine Dawkins take him under his wing, being a Clemson guy, and just teaching him how to play and how to play at a high level. So I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table. And our linebackers with Nathan Jerry and Duke Riley, they, they're not big names, but Nathan Jerry came out as like a 6th round pick a couple years ago. He's the only one, I think, in 2017, other than Barnett, who's hurt, that's not cut. So he's our starting Will, and he did pretty good last year, but we got a couple linebackers in the draft, Sean Bradley from Temple. We got Davion Taylor from Colorado. I mean, those are our backup linebackers, which I'm hoping this draft is not like the 2017 draft. I'm hoping this draft is huge, and these guys are on the team for a while and can produce big things. And I think, and bringing it over to the offense, talking about Jalen Hurts, that was like a huge surprise picking him up. But, when you have Carson Wentz and as much as we want to love him and everything, he gets hurt. So if he's getting hurt, we have to have some sort of game plan in case that does happen, because I feel like if he gets hurt this year, it's pretty much done, because us Eagles fans won't take it. Jalen Reagor, wide receiver, great pickup. A sleeper I think we were going to hear about is John Hightower, 6'2" receiver out of Boise State. With Alshon Jeffrey being out for at least the first 3-4 weeks, I think John Hightower can step in there and play that role. He's super fast with great hands, and he's tall. Alshon Jeffrey's I think 6'3", but big things, man. If we can stay healthy, it's I feel like what we picked up in the off season with Darius Slay, I think big things coming, man. Big things are coming.
Oh, I completely agree, man. Let's go ahead and jump onto the draft. I mean, you made a nice segue over there already, man. Jalen Reagor, I honestly thought you guys were going to pick up Justin Jefferson. I really did. Watching the draft, he makes sense. He really does. But Reagor, I mean, he's still a hell of a receiver. I mean, big dude coming out of TCU. He can definitely catch some balls. So I felt like he was worthy of that first-round draft pick. Guys picked him up. Then Jalen Hurts. That was a question mark, I think, for everybody. But then again, it wasn't a question mark because you're right, man. Wentz is a hard story. Wentz is not easy. Why? Because so many people either are like, I don't know, it's like some people can't stand him, some people are just like, they that's their quarterback. I mean, no matter what, game day comes, that's your quarterback no matter what. I mean, I personally feel like Foles should have been the man to still be there, but then again, I mean, once again, that's just me from the outside. I'm not an Eagles fan. I don't pay that much attention to them closely. But when it comes down to it, you know what? It doesn't hurt. You added somebody else because you guys know already. If Wentz gets hurt, you guys need somebody dynamic back there, and Jalen Hurts is definitely a dynamic player. The young man is a very good football player, and to anybody who thinks he's not, I don't know what to say to them. He's a great player. He's attentive.
I loved him.
Me too. College. Me too. Like I said, it was a question mark for some people. For some, it really was a question mark all across. Even me, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then it started to make sense. Like, no. I see what they're doing. Let this young man get out there and play football. And I think there's going to be some very happy Eagles fans out there, regardless if Wentz is taking the snaps or if Hurts is. So then we have Devon, let's see here. Or it's Davion Taylor, outside linebacker out of Colorado. Kevon Wallace coming, safety out of Clemson. They know how to win over there for damn sure. Dabo Swinney coaches those boys up real well. As you mentioned, John Hightower, wide receiver out of Boise State. You already mentioned him coming on over in the 5th round. Then we have Sean Bradley, mentioned linebacker out of Temple. Quez Watkins, wide receiver out of Southern Miss. And then we have Prince Tega, looks like Wanogo, and I'll butcher his name there, but tackle out of Auburn. And Casey Tuhill, outside linebacker out of Stanford. I don't know much about him. I know I'm a Pac-12 guy, but don't know much about him. But regardless,
I think he's gone.
Is he already cut?
I think so, yeah. And I think the other guy is back to the bus.
Who's that as well?
Driscoll. I think you mentioned him.
Man.
The Auburn offensive lineman.
Oh man, so we got some we got some cuts already happening, and you know what? It's all good, man. Things happen, players go here and there. I wish those young men all the best, but you know, I mean, it's a very potent roster, and there's a lot that goes into this roster, man. There really is. So into those roster cuts, and you know how that goes, man. But with that said,
Jack's actually still on the team. He's still there.
Oh, he's still there. Okay, cool. Well, that's the case.
There.
Let's go ahead and get on into the impacts. You already brought up these guys already, but let's go ahead and recap it, man. Do you right now, like today, who do you think could be an immediate impact, and who do you think could actually grow into an impact position based off of what you've seen so far in camp, depending on literally whatever you've seen?
I think it really does kind of. There's two things on the defensive side. I think it really does boil down to how well Darius does, because if he ends up getting hurt, or if he ends up, playing like Rasul Douglas or something like that, now we have to switch it all around. Now Jalen goes back to the corner, Avante's over there, then we kind of have to mix in some of those rookies into the safety spot, which is fine, but I think it really does boil down to Darius Slay at the corner spot. If he can play well and hold down his spot and be a Pro Bowler, then that's going to really make the defense, I think, and as far as the offensive side goes, our wide receiver crew is fairly thin. There's not much there that people know about. You have Greg Ward, who stepped up last year. JJ, I don't even know what to do about him, but but Deshaun, if he can stay healthy, he's like the Darius of the offense. Like Deshaun can stay healthy, that's going to hold down that receiver core, because Zach Ertz is there, Dallas Stewart's there. Those three right there are going to be the core of the receiver tight end crew. And then we fit in Jalen Reagor and John Hightower. I think John Hightower, I mentioned earlier, is going to be a big surprise. I think he's going to be the one that might step up and be a big surprise in the team this year.
I agree. The guys definitely got some big pickups, man. Reagor is going to be a big time pickup. But okay, so we've already kind of got to the end here, but I just want to go ahead and just go over this real quick, man. I don't want to take all your time today. I know you got to get back to work pretty soon, man. But you're a defensive guy. You brought that up. I'm a defensive guy. It's just I love talking defense. So real quick, man, looking here, courtesy of ESPN.com, looking at the depth chart here of the Eagles, we see that they are a base 43. That is my ultimate favorite defense. I'm all about the 43. I played in that personally. I played also in the 3-5 and the 34. Have a lot of leeway playing outside back or coming off the line there and defensive end as well. But the 43, man, is just where it's at, in my opinion, playing defensive end or outside linebacker there. What did you personally play in, man?
What did I play?
What did you play in, like your defense? Oh, and of course, what did you play as well?
Oh, well, I was a middle linebacker. We ran a 4-3 as well, and that's where I played. I played middle linebacker. I was sitting next to Chris Claiborne when I played back in high school.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's awesome. I get to play with Chris Claiborne, man. That's awesome stuff. But yeah, man. So I mean, in that traditional 43, you see so much. You get to see, you got the four big boys up front that are taking the heat off of you as a linebacker. You get to see, you're the general. You're the smartest. Well, I'm going to say smartest, but you're the quarterback of the defense. You middle linebacker. You have everything going on out there. You've got, you got to know the defense. You got to know, of course, you have your coverages and everything. But when it comes down to it, man, this defense is a very strong defense to run, and I feel like they have a great lineup here. I mean, you've got Graham and Barnett both on the outsides, playing end. You have Cox and Hargrave in the middle, which are freaking monsters. Great players there. You have your linebackers, Gary, Riley, and Singleton. I think all three of those linebackers are actually pretty good linebackers. Very agile and, sideline to sideline type players. And then that secondary, man. I mean, I like it. I really do like what they got going on now. They got Slay, McLeod, as well as Mills and Maddox. I mean, some good play there. You got, once again, Kobe Roman jumping on in there, and your guys as twos and everything. But overall, this defense, just going forward, man, how confident are you that this defense can actually get the job done again this year?
It's one of the best defenses I've seen in a while. The biggest thing is it boils down to our team with injuries. Every year we have injuries. We already have two, on the offensive line. So it all boils down to injuries. If any of these front level guys get injured and are out extended period of time, that's going to just screw everything up. And that's what it boils down to. I love our defense. I love our offense. And if we can stay healthy, as I mentioned earlier, we're going far, man. Looking at our schedule, it's not super tough. We have some teams on there. We have like the 49ers. We have the Ravens, or you know, of course, our division. We usually split with the Cowgirls, and that's fine. Seahawks, Packers. You know, we have some tough games, but you know, I think looking at what we have ahead of us, looking at our defense, and the sky's the limit for what we have this year.
I agree. You guys have a potent football team, man. It's a good football team, and I really think there's a lot to come of this. And you guys really do have a lot to continue to build on. And overall, man, it's a very, very good team. And just watching like Fletcher Cox out there playing on the defensive line as well, that 3 technique. I mean, the guy gets off, he does his thing. I think they even move him down. He is a monster, and I think they do shift him, don't they? They do move him down to a 1-0 sometimes. I think I see him playing over the center sometimes.
Yeah, they move him all over the place. They try to confuse that offense as most as they can, and if Brandon Graham's coming off the end, like Fletcher in the middle, like it's tough, man. I don't know how anybody deals with those guys.
No, it's true, man. It's very true, and I'm really excited for this defensive line to get out there and ball, man. Very good football team, very strong football team, and overall, man, I feel like you guys got the man at the wheel. You know, Peterson's a great coach, Doug Peterson. You guys really have a lot of things to build on, and you know what, man, the champs last year, spoiler alert, I think they're gonna be the champs again this year, and hopefully you guys continue to move forward, man. So real quick, we're gonna get things on now into this part of what you think they're gonna do this year. So I spoke my piece, just short and sweet. You can take the time you need, brother, but go ahead, man, the floor is yours. Let everybody know, what do you think these Eagles are gonna do this year? What are you expecting, and what do you think they're gonna do?
Well, as we all know, this division is not the greatest. We got the Giants, who knows what they're going to put on the field. Without Saquon, they are pretty much nothing. The Washington team, again, they have Haskins, nothing. The Cowboys, whatever you want to call them, Dak is probably the most overrated guy in the league. There's no wonder why he hasn't been signed. And again, if we stay healthy, I see 11-5. I see 12-4 without a problem. You know, we always end up season with a couple of those weird losses. You know, we have like the Bengals and the Browns on the schedule, and you know, I can see something weird happening with one of them guys. You know, just like how did we lose that game? But I definitely see 11-5, 12-4 with division champs, and hopefully a first round bye, and moving on. You know, move on to at least the NFC Championship and probably the Super Bowl. There's no reason why we can't. Not with this lineup. And if we stay healthy, that's the name of the game. Last year we finished the year with a practice squad. Literally, Carson Wentz was the only guy on the field that wasn't the start of the year as the number one guy.
No way.
So he is. The whole, I mean, the receiver core, you know, we have, like I said, we brought guys off the practice squad. We had Boston Scott off the practice squad last year. Greg Ward was off the practice squad. You know, like these guys that were catching balls for us last year. Alshon was hurt. Deshaun was hurt. Miles didn't even start the year as starter. So, like, literally every guy was hurt. Our offensive line was in shambles. And Wentz was really the only guy that was at a skill position that started the season as a starter and ended the year as a starter. So we did that and won a division at 9-7 with a practice squad, essentially. I mean, imagine what we'll do if we're healthy, you know, and we're going to be scoring points. Miles Sanders is super fast. We have Deshaun and Jalen, who are both super fast. And we have a really fast team. There's no reason why we can't go 11-5, 12-4. And I'm super excited about the season. I can't wait till next week till we take on the Washington team and handle it. I don't see that even being a competition. I mean, Haskins won't be able to deal with our defense at all. And the Cowgirls, I love how earlier you had a guy that was talking about the debate between Carson Wentz and Dak, and I'm like, come on, man, Carson Wentz beat Dak with a practice squad, his whole team, and he can't score more than 9 points? Like, what? Who's the overrated one? Yes, he gets first, but that's the only thing anybody can say. And if he stays healthy, he literally has. If you mirror Carson Wentz and Tom Brady's stats from last year, they're like identical. 27-6 touchdowns, interception, 4,000 some yards. Only quarterback in NFL history to have broke 4,000 yards and not have one 500-yard receiver. It's a crazy year, and Carson Wentz is really good, and I don't understand why he doesn't get the credit he gets. The whole Nick Foles thing, you mentioned earlier that Nick Foles should have been the guy, But Nick Foles has proved he's not the guy. He's not the guy to run a team from the beginning. There's no reason why he did so badly in St. Louis, and then he came to the Eagles and did good, and then all of a sudden he leaves and goes to Jacksonville and can't get out of the first game, and now he's in Chicago backing up Trubisky. So it's like, that's not the guy we need starting things off, and Carson Wentz is the guy. That's it, bottom line. And if he's not the guy, it's not Nick Foles. It's somebody probably like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Foles did a great thing. I mean, he really did. And like I said, man, it puzzled me for a while. But no, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, Wentz is a great quarterback. I mean, the man came from an FCS school, which is really cool. Of course, I mean, North Dakota State, everyone thinks, including myself, they should just join the gosh dang, the Big 12, or something, because they need to. Because, I mean, you don't just win 8 out of 7. What was it? They won 8 years out of 9, or 8 championships in 9 years, something like that, or 7 in 8 years.
Yeah, that's like Marshall back in the day. Remember Marshall with... they jumped up to D1 after they were just crushing it.
Yeah, right? I mean, yeah, I know that I actually had no idea that Marshall was even that powerhouse, but I do remember, or the other day I was listening to the broadcast on USRN, and yeah, they had mentioned that, Marshall, they were previously FCS, and that's incredible, man, to hear that. That's really cool. I mean, of course, I wasn't, I was younger in the 90s, I didn't pay attention to college football very much. But.
Well, that's with Randy Moss, and I think they had Byron Leftwich back then, and they were legit.
That's awesome, man.
Really good.
That is awesome. And see, that team is just... That's Marshall. That's the Thunder and Herd. And, I think that's going to be the same thing with North Dakota State. We're going to be like, remember that team back in the day when they were FCS? Yeah, well, they're a D1 school now. And, that's awesome, man. I mean, that's really cool to hear that. I mean, they're going to be I feel like another Appalachian State and just do their thing. So, with that said, man, there's nothing left to do except for to have a little bit of fun here at the end, man. Like I said, I don't want to keep you forever. But I do want to tell you, man, you're the real deal, dude. That was so much freaking fun talking with you today about some football. And getting these Eagles out there. But I know you've heard the segment. You've listened to the whole show, basically. You've heard the segment. Now, you can have all the fun you want to, man. Enjoy yourself. You could be mean. You could be respectful. However you want to do it. But there are 3 teams in this division that you don't like very much. You've already stated that very well in the whole interview. Now you can have some fun with it at the end and just throw it around and just say what you feel, speak your piece, and talk about how those other 3 teams, I think they are going to do this year. And, you've heard it already. Have fun. Without further ado, Daniel, stick it to them.
Well, first we have, the team that's the redheaded, ugly stepsister that doesn't even have a name. That nobody cares about them. They come from Washington. Nobody cares about them. So there's not even really a rivalry because they never win anything. I think the last time they won anything was probably before the Cowboys even, and that was a really long time ago. So they're not a problem. I don't even think there's a rivalry there because nobody cares about them. It's almost like caring about the Chargers because nobody cares. The Washington, we'll call them how they are this year. The Washington football team, I imagine maybe 2, maybe 3 wins out of the deal.
Damn.
And then you have the Giants who, man, the only bummer is I wish they would have kept Eli, the mouth breather, because he was terrible. Like, they won 2 Super Bowls and they went to the playoffs one year 9-7, and their defense carried them through it. I get so tired of people saying how great Eli is and Hall of Fame this, Hall of Fame that. I mean, like, without Strahan and that defense, they would have been nothing. And that they were never a problem. I can't remember what our record is against them. It's like 30-5 in the past so many years. It's not even close. I expect them to maybe have 5-6 wins, maybe. Saquon's probably going to be hurt at the end of the year because he's their only horse. They have to run him throughout the whole year. Daniel Jones, I mean, come on, man. Like, what? and then you got the girls over there in Dallas. Like, they can't even win a big game. They have so much turmoil in their locker room with their owner that has no idea what he's doing. They have Dak who's crying. They want $40-some million a year, but he can't win a big game. He has all these powerhouse receivers with Amari Cooper and who the heck else does he have? I know Cooks. He has Cooks over there, and he's had some top tight ends. He has Zeke Elliott. Like, he has a great offensive line, all the skill players are great, but he can't win the big game. He scores 9 points against us at the end of the year to get knocked out. So not worried about the Cowboys at all. I expect, we always have a tough game against them every year no matter what. So I'm not saying those are going to be cakewalks, but they'll be fun games. Lots of crap talking online with all my cowgirl friends. And, but I expect them maybe, they might do a 9-7, something like that, but I don't expect much more than that. And I expect probably they're going to have some more turmoil because Dak's not going to get signed. And it's just going to be a mess over there. You know how that they're almost like your team, the Raiders. Sometimes they're just a big old mess. And I expect us to dominate, man. Be healthy, dominate, and go 11-5, 12-4, and go on to the Super Bowl. That's the prediction. You heard it first right here.
Applause button has been hit. I don't even care. I mean, dude, that's just how it goes, man. You mic drop. I mean, that's it. I mean, wow, that's how it goes, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, because what a great way to end off the show, man. I am so darn excited for you guys this season, man. The Eagles fly, man. You can't.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Right? I mean,
victory all year.
Yeah, you go, man. I don't see how anybody can see this team not winning this division. They are. I don't know. The Cowboys are going to give one hell of a run, I feel like, when it comes down to it, because they do have a decent team. But I don't know, man. I guess these Eagles.
It all boils down to injury.
It really does.
Got to be healthy. We already lost 2 offensive linemen, man, and that's before we even played any snaps.
Yeah, that ain't fun. Losing that ain't fun at all. And I'll tell you right now, you guys have an amazing team, though. Very stacked defense. I mean, I'm telling you, those linebackers, man. I really admire those linebackers. They're sideline to sideline guys. I mean, you and I both play the same position. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, man, it's just linebacker is you got to be a different kind of animal to play that position. Like, you really do.
Can't be afraid.
Absolutely. You got to be a different breed, man. It's ridiculous. You got to know everything that's going on. You also got to think on the fly. I mean, it is not an easy position to play. You have 3 of those guys, so I feel like it's very, very talented, very good athletes, man. So overall, your linebacking core is good. The secondary, man, you guys just got a lot. You guys got a lot going for you, man. And
I cannot wait to see what our rookies do. I can't wait to see what they do.
Oh, me either. I cannot wait. I'm going to tell you right now, you guys have a amazingly good class coming in here. Like I said, Rager, people can talk what they want to talk, but at the end of the day, man, Rager is going to do something this year. Watch. I mean, there's a lot to be excited for if you're an Eagles fan. There's a lot to be excited for to get out there and do their thing, and really it's just for them to get out there and do their thing, and there's just no other way around it, y'all. So with that said, that will do it, though, man. That was a lot of fun, man. Where's that applause button at, ladies and gentlemen? Once again, y'all, Mr. Daniel, guys.
Man, thanks for having me. That was so much fun. Thank you.
You are very welcome, man. Thank you so much. I look forward to having you back many, many more times. Now, we have this thing called Primetime Face-Off, where you can face off against teams in primetime, of course, for that week. When you guys take on the Cowboys or whatever you do, I mean, that'd be fun to have you and one of you said you got some boys who are Cowboys fans. That'd be a lot of fun to have you guys go on here and go at it.
Oh, yeah. Or that guy you had on earlier.
Oh, yeah, or bring him on or whoever else, yo. So that was a lot of fun. But, hey, thanks again, Daniel. That was a lot of fun, man. Take care. God bless you and your family. Say hello to Danielle for me, man. You're the real deal, man. I look forward to having you back plenty more times. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your week, man. God bless, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care, buddy.
Take care, man. All right, y'all. Once again, y'all, Mr. Daniel, guys, that was fun. Man, poor Taryn. I'm sorry, I skipped the comment, but he says, man, he says, this man saying no one cares for the Chargers. I care. ... Shaking my head. He says, so let's see here. This man broke the number 1 rule of Eagles fans: never say the Cowboys will go 9-7. They're going 8-8. Good one there, Taryn. Taryn also says, I'm kidding, obviously, on the Cowboys record. There you go. He says, I hope Jalen Hurts gets some playing time. And I do too, man. Jalen Hurts deserves to play football at a high level because he's earned it. He has earned it. This young man is a good athlete. I don't get where everyone's talking like, oh, he got replaced by Tua. Tua's a good athlete too. I mean, what the hell? Like, where did that even become a debate? That they weren't good athletes or that, one's better than the other. Yes, they were better for that exact moment in time. Tua jumped in and played he took over in the national championship and helped his team come back. He helped Alabama come back and win. We know that. We know the story. We understand it. But you're going to sit here and tell me that Jalen Hurts didn't have a lot to do with Alabama's success when he was there? Alright, that was weird. My bad, guys. I got a little glitch there. A little glitch. But it happens. My computer's a little old, so my apologies. But, like I said, y'all, I do not understand. I don't understand when people would say anything bad about Jalen Hurts. Or not bad, but just say that he doesn't, he's whatever. He's this or that. The young man gets gotten to the NFL. You give him a chance. Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. He is, okay? But at the same time, Jalen Hurts is also a very good quarterback, and let him get his chance. Let him get in there and make some things happen. This young man is going to really, really do well whenever it's his time, and he's gonna do great things. I have not a doubt in my mind that he can go out there and do great things, and this is a good football team with a good defense. They can really do a lot of things this year. So, with that said, I think y'all know what time it is. Load up the drops, because it's about to be drop central right now. Got our little lengthy break here at the end, and then I'll come back with my final weigh-in and tell you who I think, surprise, surprise, will win it all this year in the NFC East, and we'll talk about that, and then get you ready for tomorrow's show. We'll talk NFC South, y'all. Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun tomorrow, y'all. I mean, it's always fun, but we got a double dip tomorrow too. We got some double action, because we not only have this show tomorrow afternoon talking NFC South, talking Panthers, Falcons, Saints, and Bucks. But we have here tomorrow is the actual launch of the season too. So 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope you all ready, y'all. We're gonna have some fun. We got some primetime face-offs coming your way. The first one ever done on StreamYard. We're gonna try and get everybody on camera tomorrow for the primetime face-offs. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Tomorrow's gonna be a really fun show. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. And I hope every one of y'all are here to enjoy it with us, either here on Spreaker or on StreamYard. Show us some love. It's going to be some good stuff. But with that said, y'all, time for me to dip out for a few minutes and take a little break. And when we get back, well, I'll give you my final weigh-in and tell you all about my thoughts on this year's NFC East. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, NFC East, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Motor City, Detroit, stand up. This is the Mitten Sports Podcast Show with AW covering Detroit Mitten Sports from your Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons. Also, Michigan State Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans. Listen to me every Sunday right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. What up, though, Detroit?
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must-listen. Weekend wrap-up on Spreaker.com. Part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
Here comes the pitch. And it comes in wide.
On the BS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. BS3 is the best source. Can you dig it, son?
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. We are coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome in to the Neutral Zone. I'm your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and you're listening to IE Sports Radio. If you like big, nasty hits, if you like slap shots straight to the neck, if you like it when the gloves hit the ice and the big boys get down, then this is your show. On IE Sports Radio, this is the Neutral Zone. May our shots on goal always be true and straight to the net. If they are not, may they be followed up, redirected, or change collected. Let's go on IE Sports Radio with me, your host, Robert Kavanaugh, and this is The Neutral Zone.
What's up, everybody? This is Taryn Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you, Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with a list of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there. What's going on, football fans? This is me, your boy Larry B, inviting you to join myself, Colin Reynolds, Mike Pat, and John Felipe for one of the most electrifying football shows you have ever heard. 3 and Out, right here at IE Sports Radio. Recap of the week before, a preview of what's to come, and of course, 3 hardcore head-to-head prime-time face-offs each week. You don't want to miss it.
Well. I almost timed that really good, but I didn't. But it's okay. There was like 12 seconds to spare, 10 seconds to spare around there. But, we almost made it. Anyway, without further ado, here we go, y'all! Oh, yeah. It has been a pleasure. NFC East Day has now concluded. Thank you to everybody, all diehard fans who tuned in today and were a part of it, even though we couldn't get a Redskins fan on. It's all good. Thanks for Taryn for filling in. Man, that was awesome, man. We had a lot of fun, and we really had a great show today. Thank you to everybody, y'all, once again, in the clutch earlier. Big time shout out, and thank you to Mr. Brennan earlier. Also, big shout out, thank you to Mr. Keith Zhang, Mr. Terry Rodriguez for stepping in for the Redskins, for the Washington football team, and I gotta get a swear jar for that. And of course, big shout out to Mr. Daniel Geis. Awesome stuff, y'all. We had a great show today and had a lot of fun. Well, it's now time for the final weigh-in. I think this is pretty simple, y'all. Washington, you'd like to see them do good, but I just don't see it happening. I see them being a 4-12, 5-11 team. They just got a lot of rebuilding to do. If they win 6 games and find them, or 6 or 7 games, they find themselves in 3rd place. As Taryn was saying, I believe that is a victory for them. The Giants, I don't see them doing much better. The Giants are just kind of, they're just there. They're floating around. I want them to do better. But will they? We'll see. I think they'll be better than the Washington team, but I don't know if they'll be better than the second place team. I got them at 7-9, maybe 8-8 at best. We'll see. 9-7. That's a high. That's pretty good for them, but I don't think that'll happen this year. But I can ballpark them at 7-9, 8-8, around there. Also, I want to take a look here at these two teams and compare them side by side. They're so close, but I'm giving it to the Eagles, y'all. How can you not? I want to say the Cowboys can make it close. I got the Cowboys going anywhere from 9-7 to 11-5. It could be really close, but the Eagles have that high ceiling. They really do. As Daniel said, I mean, they could be 12-4. He says, or higher. I don't think they'll be higher than that. I think they'll be right around 11-5, 12-4. But regardless, it'll be good enough to win the division. And I got them going. And if they get in the playoffs, so all they gotta do is get into the dance, and that's it. So at the end of the day, y'all, I'm gonna take those Philadelphia Eagles to repeat and do it again. They're just too good. They're too talented. And I think they're gonna do great things this year on the field. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it. With that said, 6 days down, 2 more to go. Tomorrow we got a double whammy. NFC South. Talking Bucks, Panthers, Saints, and of course, how can we ever forget those Atlanta Falcons? We are talking them tomorrow, NFC North on Thursday, but tomorrow we got a double show. We got this one in the afternoon. We got the actual show at 6. 4 primetime face-offs tomorrow. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, like I said, NFC North on Thursday. I'm your boy Larry B, and we will see you next week. Thanks to everybody in the chat room, by the way, Mr. Terry Rodriguez in the chat room today, and thank you to everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.